really know who a man is. I feel like the only time that you'll be able to tell y'all is time. And time is so precious, y'all. Time is all you got. So imagine wasting your time, right? Like, girl, and that's the point of life, y'all. Like, you have to get out here and make mistakes, but I definitely feel like you should be taking your L's in private. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? Like, there's nothing wrong with taking your L's in private, whether you're a public person or not. Everybody does not need to know your business, okay? But I'm curious, y'all. So, they're always like, oh, choose better, choose better, choose better, right? Y'all are always talking about we're choosing the Pookies and the Ray Rays. So, can a woman ever truly vet a man? And to me, y'all, there's only one way, right? And that means not involving your body at all with the man. Because take your body off the table, ladies, and see how much that man really like you after that, right? TT, I agree with you, right? I do not disagree. I listen. I think women need to just shut it down. And it's not a punishment, right? It's not to be like, oh, you know how some men will be like, well, you gave it up to this one, but you didn't give it up to me. Who cares, right? Women just need to shut it down. Because men have told us time and time and time and time again, right, that they are on a hunt, on a chase. It's in their nature. Oh, it's just the way men are. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Can you ever really truly vet a man? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, look at Clay, right? Clay, I mean, not to go on about Clay, y'all, but I just feel like, listen, I was not expecting that from like this very, Clay just gave off like this good guy. I thought he was a good guy. That's all I'm gonna say, y'all. Turns out he's not, right? It's not in their nature. They just lustful and don't want to take accountability or make change. TT, I agree, right? I hate when they say that too. I do. I hate when the men say that too because they should be aggravating me. But I'm just, I'm being sarcastic. Let's see. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Fortune.
can
How
you
are
hear
you?
me?
Yes.
I'm okay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Yeah, y'all. I don't know what happened to Fortune, but anyway, y'all. I am curious to know, y'all. Do y'all feel like a woman can ever truly be a man? And I feel like personally, in TT, I just agree. Right? It's not in a man's nature to cheat at all. Cheating is a choice because every step of the way you are making a choice to do that. Right? So it's definitely just not in somebody's nature. It's an active choice of what you want to do. But do y'all ever feel like even with all the advice on the internet, right? All the dating coaches, everybody's always like, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. Like, ladies, I have thank you, homie. I have a couple of do's and don'ts, right? It's more just about boundaries for me that like I just feel like I won't let somebody cross. Like wasting my time, right? You know, dumb conversations that just don't make sense. That's a waste of time, right? I don't know. Y'all feel like that's kind of like a part of the vetting process, right? And then who that man, I don't know. I just know the wrong things to look out for, right? And so you get used to like looking out for so much of the wrong. It'd be hard to like accept the good about somebody because nobody's that nice. People aren't that just, nice for any reason. Thank you. Diddy Pub, I agree. Women should do whatever they want to do, but I'm talking about for the women that want to date. Do you think that they can ever truly vet a man? Right? And I feel like there's only one way for women to do that, right? You have to completely take your body and stuff like just off the table, right? And not even as a punishment. This is not just about like, oh, like I'm just not gonna sleep with men because I want to punish them. I'm telling you right now, like more so as a just smacks is a big deal, right? Intertwining your body with somebody else is a big deal. It is a huge deal. It is not something that should be just taken casually, right? So imagine if you just take that off the table and really just want to get to know somebody. Is it going to be hard? Absolutely, because you're still gonna find that like most people be lustful no matter what. And I'm telling y'all, you can be covered from head to toe. You can dress as modest as you want to. You can be dressed from head to toe. You're still going to be sexualized, y'all. It doesn't matter. So I feel like, listen, wear what you want to wear, do what you want to do. But I'm telling you, yes, it is. Like you said, AT, it is a huge deal. It is a huge deal, right? And even then, too, y'all, no matter what you do, that's why you got to keep your business off the internet. I feel like that's part of the vetting process, too, right? Like it's just some jobs that you'll never put on your resume because they were horrible, okay? Like we had a horrible experience at those jobs. We're not gonna list those jobs on the resume. It doesn't matter, okay? The only jobs on the resume that matters are the ones that count, okay? Listen, worry about what you need to worry about. But is that part of the vetting process? I don't know, y'all. And can a woman ever truly vet a man? Because that is the topic. I don't know anymore. I am not a dating coach. I just love coming up here, y'all, talking about shared experiences. I'm just telling y'all, okay? And I just feel like, too, y'all, like, I don't know. Life is different at this age. I'm not 25, I'm not 30, I'm not 35, right? I'll be 40 on May 15th, which is like crazy to think about, okay? But at this age, it's just, I'm telling y'all, it's wild. And you really don't know who's out to get you or who really like you for you. Okay? Because, yes, the young men do be on you, right? But you don't really know if they like you because they really like you or if they just like you because they into like a genre or some shit. Okay? And then the older men still be hitting on you, but it's the same thing, right? You're still a younger woman to an older man, right? And then and then y'all like you have the ones like, your age that, just love bomb you and stuff like that. Same old tactics. Like it's hell out here, y'all. Okay. I don't know if I ever, Rico. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If I ever do anything, I'm catching the old link. Okay. I'm not adding on nothing new. So I can't say ever. I can't say ever at all. Cause then I'd be lying. But yeah, I'm catching the old link. I'm not catching nothing new.
Oh, I don't
Period.
know if it's two people up here or I just wanted to say that well, before I start, are you a Christian by chance?
I believe in God, but I'm not religious by any means. Mm-mm.
Okay. But I just wanted to say that I think when we get into vetting, I think it's kind of tricky because like not everybody's religious, but I'm a Christian, so the Bible tells us like you would know them by their fruit, like how they act, right? So I think once you can determine their fruit, how they treat children, how they treat animals, what they think about their mom, what they think about black women, what they think about all these things, I think that can play a part into how they would treat you, like how they treat their parents, how they treat strangers, how they treat the waitress, like those things like that. Because I've had situations where I've seen those red flags and I'm like, okay, you say and do these things. I know you're not going to be the right person for me. I've told you straight up, like, I'm waiting until marriage. I'm not doing this. They'll run away. Like, oh, I'm not willing to do that. Like, it's just, so I think it's kind of tricky for certain people. I just wanted to say that because I couldn't type it all out. But
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, right? I don't disagree. And I don't think you have to be a Christian to be able to like, use your logic and see those things, right? Like a person's character. But those are all good things that you mentioned, right? To like definitely vet somebody. But I don't think that you can, but even with knowing all that, right? Even if they're God led, God fearing, like I've run into like those type of men and they still be on BS, right? And some of them will use religion to really aspire to manipulate you and everything else like that. So I don't know. It's not a matter of just like, oh, you're just choosing the wrong people, right? Like it's crazy out here.
Yeah,
Not
those
gonna lie.
people like aren't Christians. Like that's what the Bible literally emphasizes on. Jesus said, "If you love me, you obey my commandments." So you can't be a Christian and disobey and manipulate and be spiteful and try to, use people to get what you want. Like I've dealt with men of God that like that too, who act like they're Christians and they're not. So those are the people that you gotta watch out for too.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
I
Ladies,
think
ladies,
too. Hi, girl. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Um, I just wanted to kind of say, in reference to something you said earlier, I think people are missing the plot. I think the fact that vetting is coming up, they hear that word and it sounds like they're interviewing people. What really is happening is you're doing an integrity check. You are correlating what they say and what they promise and the future faking and all of that to how they actually show up without reminders. You're just checking to see if this person can be trusted to do what they say they're going to do and if your lifestyles match up in a way that y'all could be long-term partners. That's the whole gig when it comes to vetting. So it sounds intimidating, but it's really only about making sure that y'all have a long-term sustainability. That's it. That's all you're doing. You don't have to interview these people. You don't have to ask all these questions on day one. You just have to stay open-minded long enough for their character to represent itself, which means you should not be telling them what you're looking for. You should be letting them show you who they're going to show up as when no one is holding their hand, and then decide for yourself if that's who you want to spend forever with.
Great. It's a Rico and then BTR. Your next.
Okay, I just wanted to hop on real quick. Like TT said, it's too much to type, but I also agree with what Lady T said at the end. My quote unquote advice would be no, nobody could ever truly vet anybody thoroughly, like 100%. People change, people lie, situations and circumstances. The best advice I can give to a woman that's looking to be, or an individual that's looking to be in a long lasting relationship, get therapy if you can afford it. Everybody got trauma, but also they can help expose your weak points, and get a good friend group, not the ones that just tell you what you want to hear or know what you want to hear whenever you're feeling sad or happy or whatever. The ones that'll be honest and not leave you, but will sit there and support you through whatever journey that's going to be for you to get over it. I think that'll help you understand who you are and who you want. And if they're smart and if your therapist is honest, that'll help you vet people better. But then again, like I said, people lie, situations change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. People do, right? That's what I said. I think that's just the risk you got to take. It's like when you go bungee jumping, right? When you get ahead of date, that is just the risk that you got to take that you don't really ever know people, right? So all you can do is give them a chance to see who they are and what they are. So, but sometimes that's scary, no matter how much therapy you go to, right? Because you just don't know. So, BTR, you next, son. I don't know everything. I wish I did know everything, but I don't. I don't know, even at 40. We can't hear you though.
I was trying to unmute. My
Okay,
bad.
now we can
So,
hear you.
so I'm 43 by the way, so I understand the 40s. I'm kind of like in agreement with Rico. If you're trying to be in a long term relationship, marriage or whatnot, then you do need to get a counsel. Like get counseling. That's number one. Two, I don't think that you can vet anybody because people are good at lying and people are great at it. But I think that you should let people know what you're looking for because it would be bad that you know this person's great, but they're not what you're looking for. And then you
Mm-hmm.
could have told them a long time ago, and they're like, I'm just being myself and I'm being good. And I could have been better for somebody else, but you never told me. Like, you knew you didn't want a man with kids, but
Yeah.
you let me hang around because you thought I might be a good option. So I think it's all about being who you are, keeping your, purity or whatnot. And you're saying, this is my standard. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm looking for. And if you don't meet it, you don't meet it. But I got to be strong in myself to say, this is who I am. And I'm not willing to bend on these non negotiables. That's my thoughts on that.
I love that. You know what I find though, BTR? I find that even though if I tell a man no, they just are still persistent. Like, like men have a hard time accepting no, no matter how gentle you are, how nice you are, especially the younger ones. Like, I don't.
Yeah. And that
That's why
comes
dating
in.
your age ranges is important, right? I feel like those hard conversations have to be had, but sometimes, yeah, it's
Yeah, I think
hard.
they telling a man, men here no, because most men have heard no their entire life anyway. So it's like, oh, this is just the next challenge. And you're like, it's not a challenge. You do not qualify at all. You know what I mean? So yeah, like my wife didn't want me in the beginning. So and here we are 12 years later. So it's kind of hard to, to hear. And you always say, I don't want a man that stops at the first no. However, no means no. So it's confusing for guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I say something really quick about what he said?
Yes.
Um,
Definitely.
about what BTR said when he mentioned let people know what you're looking for. I'm kind of like iffy about that because I think if you let someone know what you're looking for, they could use that against you. They could possibly mask and be something that you're looking for to get what they want. I remember I had a guy told me, "What are you looking for in a man? Let me know so I can be that." Now, I don't know what he meant by that, but if you're not what I'm looking for, then you're not what I'm looking for. It ended up that ended up to be that he wasn't what I'm looking for because I'm waiting until marriage and he wasn't. So I'm kind of like 50-50 about that. I don't know.
I think it's okay to let somebody know that they're not what you're looking for, right? But I'm not gonna tell you in the beginning, like, oh, I like a man that does this. Like, I want to see who you are, right? And let you be who you are because that's gonna tell me everything I need to know. So, and I don't
And
feel like as a grown person that I have to correct you on certain behaviors. Like, you should already know certain things.
I just want to say real quick to BTR's point as well. Like, yes, there is some element of it where you have to be vulnerable and you have to let people get to know you, but that doesn't necessarily mean telling them what you're looking for in particular, because that decreases your odds of finding someone you're naturally compatible with. Like, we can live life next to each other without actually having to give each other blueprints of how to do that, because if I just tell you what I'm looking for, if that's not who you are but you want to be close to me, you may just pretend to be that for the sake of conversation. You know what I mean? Just for the sake of access. So it's more so about gradually being willing to learn over time if you're compatible, as opposed to just trying to get the cheat code and then match your answers before the end of the test, you know?
BCR, you said what's your age rate? Are you asking me or Lady T? Lady T?
I'm 31.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking, and I'm not on this whole I know everything because I don't. But after a certain age, like me and my home got boys, they were like, dang, we halfway down our life now. So there's a good chance I won't see 43 more years. I hope I do, but there's a chance that I won't. So after a certain age, it's like, look, what do you want? What I ain't got time to be trying to figure stuff out. Oh no, that's not me. So God bless you, move on. Or, if I'm 20, yeah, we can play this dating game for years. But after a certain point, it's look, this ain't it. You ain't it. You look great, but you ain't it. I ain't it.
Yeah, absolutely. Adapt, you're next, and then C3.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much.
Trying to read the prompt, but it's kind of blocked off a little bit.
Okay, it says, can a woman ever truly vet a man? There's only one way, no smecks at all.
um, nah, that's not. It's not only one way, and like having no smecks. That's not. I don't think that's like always beneficial. Just because you don't. Because when you don't give him smecks, generally men are not going to be themselves until you give them smecks, anyways. So the more you hold off, the more you got this. You got a representative on the line instead of the real person. Um, and if you let them get smacks the first night, I mean, you still got a lot of vetting to do. You just gotta watch and very carefully. Um, honestly, honestly, now that I'm married, I look at like vetting a lot differently now. It's like my vetting process was like perfect. I did things perfect as far as like vetting a woman. And like what I noticed was when a woman gave me smacks early, it didn't really change. It didn't really character didn't really change because I had good women give me smacks early. Then I had horrible women that waited and said uh they had all these speed bumps in the way and all this. So like getting the smacks, it's not a telltale sign of who you're actually dealing with. It's really not. You gotta go through a multitude of things. Like let's see how you act when the money comes into play. Let's see what comes into what you do when certain friends come into play or alcohol or drugs are in the picture or whatever. That's how you truly vet somebody. You gotta see them in a few aspects of life. For sure. I'll land there.
Okay. That's interesting, right? I personally feel like, just from women, like, we really take on such a risk, so much of a risk, right? Like pregnancy, you risk in the STD, you risk a lot of stuff when you lay down with a man, right? So if you're going to do that, right, I think women should be very strategic about what they're doing and very thoughtful about what they're doing. But I also think too that like when you take your body off the table, like you said, a man will only show you his representative, and not all men, right?
That's real.
But some men will just keep on wearing this mask until they get what they want. And so, as a woman, like, why go through that, right? The only way to resolve that, thank you, Reese, is not to sleep with that man at all, and then you'll really find out if he really cares about you or not.
Well, I'll respond to that real quick. It's like honestly, the best thing to do is just let things happen organically and naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like putting a time limit on smacks and like different things. It's just you're not letting things happen and let it flow. You know what I mean? Like I I wouldn't give that advice like hold off smacks for 90 days and stuff like that. That's kind
I'm
of
not even saying for 90 days. I mean, period. Until that man like is committed to you, like, and you know for sure that y'all are in a committed relationship, like, and it's something serious. I'm not talking about just like 90 days is like some kind of punishment. I mean, period.
but see that was my telltale like I'm gonna be real like in my dating days like getting smacks from a woman it gave me like okay she she likes me. You know that's like the first step. Like, okay, she likes me because generally women are they're very picky of who they sleep with. You know what I mean? So if she gives it to you, it's like okay, she actually she fucking with me. You know what I mean? She likes me. Um, that's my telltale sign. So if you're waiting on that, it's gonna it's gonna have me thinking like, dang, is she feeling me or is she just like to go out on dates with me? So
I think that you have to consider there might be some overlap in your approach because while morally a woman abstaining gives exactly the impression it's supposed to, that she has some discipline about herself, it's not about a game. You have to remember it's not just a chess piece or a tool. This is a part of our bodies. And a lot of times when women are heavily influenced by romantic ideations, they're not thinking about the practical implications of being involved with a man who's not exclusive to you. Your health is at risk. Your future is at risk. There are a lot of things that need to be considered before you just give yourself to someone who's not even sure about you yet. So, yeah, it might be inconvenient for your dating model, but there are other ways for women to show their interest without having to use their literal bodies.
Mm, yeah. So what is your example of that then? I mean, it is. I just want to hear you guys' example
Let
of
me
that.
let C3 go next, a dab, and then we'll come back to that, okay?
Okay.
Oh, well, never mind. C3 drop. All right.
I mean, there are ways to be intimate without touching. So naturally, there are ways to show affection without, physical intimacy. I feel like it really just depends on your shared interests and how you like to feel loved. So your love languages. I think that plays a role in your approach. Everyone's different in that way, so I won't overgeneralize, but there are definitely ways to do it and keep it interactive without it being raunchy.
Yeah. I mean, because I look at it like when I first met my wife, it took me, we'll just say 2 weeks before we get intimate. So I put it like that is the benchmark right there. At that 2 week point, I'm not saying like she gotta give it up, but it's like you really need to assess the situation of what's going on. Like you should have a good assessment within 2 weeks of what type of woman she is, what y'all doing, straight up. And like mind you, my wife, we have very little in common, to be honest with you. She's not from where I'm from. She didn't even speak English when I met her. So, and a lot of things out here in dating, a lot of things are a myth to me. I'm not under the impression like all these things people be saying is true. So, yeah, that 2 week period though, you should know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm with the comments. The chat is saying that's crazy. I'm like,
What's wrong?
I'm with the chat, but hey, it worked for you, right? You're still married, so I'm single. So if it works for you, it works for you. But I feel like now I don't know about. I'll be honest, I don't know about waiting like a year or something like that. But but I feel like within 6 to 8 months, right? Like that's enough time to definitely get to see somebody, like their behavior, their consistency, right? So,
That's too. Yeah,
but
one
two
more thing,
weeks,
like like
I don't
like
know
two
about no damn
weeks
2 weeks. That's
two
that's
weeks.
you
That's
know.
that's. I think that's perfect time. Actually, that's maybe a day or so long. To be honest with you, and see, that's the one thing about dating nowadays I gotta call out. I think people just waiting too long. Like honestly, I think not. I'm not just talking about for smacks. Just I'm talking about for just assessing character, just
Yeah.
knowing who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think honestly, I think that's more of men's fault. You know what I'm saying, for not being experienced and not. Because I always say this too. I told this to my nephew too. And he looked at me crazy, but I'm like, because he's young, starting to date. You supposed to study everybody, but you got to study women. You got to know behavior traits and behavior patterns. Or else you with a woman, is she doing something you don't know what's going on because you ain't studying nothing. You don't know what that means. You don't know what that body language means. So yeah, two weeks is a good time though.
2 weeks. I might be having a manic episode in the next 2 weeks. Like that is not enough time. But C3, let me let you go next.
Okay. Let me. I guess I got my hand is raised. By the way, I'm gonna mute that.
Okay,
Hold
I
on.
know, but I gotta get
What does
C3
it
to change
say?
your VTR. Then I'm gonna let you go next.
What does it say? You say, "I see." Can a man ever truly vet a? I mean, can a woman ever truly vet a man? There's only one way. No smack said. That's interesting. You give it. You tell the man there's no smash. His true color comes out right away.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't understand that when a man don't get what he wants, there's every man has that beast inside of his body.
That is the most beautiful part.
Every man has a beast inside of him. When a man don't get what he wants, either he gonna take it out on you, or he gonna take out the people that you care about. It's always been like that. But as a man, here's the thing. Here's the thing that women don't understand. As men, we don't like to waste people's time. We know if we want somebody. We know if we see her as our wife. I'm gonna say this. I'm not trying to be this. Men don't respect hoes. We don't respect hoes. As a man, we know what we want. We're gonna go get what we want. If we know that's a wife, we're gonna do what we can and put a ring on that finger. If it takes 6 months, if it takes a year, at the end of the day, we know what we want. A woman can bet a man. It don't have to be smashed. It could be any other way. But as a man, it's our job to vet the woman. I'm not saying women can't vet a man, but as a man, it's our job to go get the woman that we want. You know, the problem is that there is social media has ruined it for a lot of people. It has ruined it for a lot of people. So I'm not saying there ain't no men that's like that, but there are some men that's like that. You know, you can vet someone mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It don't have to all be sexually. See, we look at things that we can feel, but we don't take time to think that what we want.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, you take sweat. You tell a man you can't have no smacks. He's gonna go somewhere else to get it.
Let him
That's
go
that's
there.
that's the thing. As men, if we can't get what we want, we're going to find a way to get it. It may not be from you. It may be for somebody. It may be somewhere else. It may be your homegirl right down the street. It may be your auntie. It may be the coworker that you don't like. That's one thing about us men. We can't if we can't get it from one woman, go to the next one. But smash away from a man. You take sex away from a man, watch how that man explode. You're gonna see a rage of man that you're not used to. So, but
Right. BTR, let me let you go, and then the gentleman here, and then Tara.
So I think what they both said, both of the guys, is more support of why you need to be vetting and waiting. Not that it's wrong or right, but if a beast come out and it come out in 2 weeks, then you know that's a reason that you need to be vetting a little bit better. I think I take a different perspective, maybe from a male's value perspective, that I ain't finna give you nothing. I mean, I'm married now, but I'm not gonna give you nothing in 2 weeks because I value myself. I'm like, you don't deserve my body in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It needs to be an experience like, oh, I got BTR, I got Mac, I got whatever, because your body count can go up as well. And I really do think the best way to vet somebody is to take that off the table, because then you start, if the relationship does not work, what did you lose? Nothing but time, which is valuable, but you didn't lose your body. You didn't lose, you don't have to worry about, you out your next guy or girl, and then you hear giggling, and it's like the dude over there with his homeboy, like, yeah, I smashed that.
Yeah.
So I'm more on the side of men need to value themselves and say, I'm not giving you none, because women do start acting crazy after y'all have that experience, and she busting out windows, and then the next woman know exactly why she busting windows out. She like, he on some BS because she ain't acting like that for no reason. So that's just my opinion, wrong or right.
Right. All right. I like it. What is it? No time.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. You want to
So
tell?
basically, coming from a young man's perspective, when it comes to like women and relationships and having no sex and stuff like that, I say it's true. You should go without having sex, and you should really like get to know that individual first before you start engaging and putting yourself out there. That's it. That's all.
No, I mean, listen, too. I agree. I agree. I think that women should definitely take their time, right? I think that casual hookup culture is a bunch of BS. And I don't think that you can vet somebody in 2 weeks, y'all. I just don't think that that's enough time to really learn somebody. You don't know who that person is within 2 weeks.
So let me ask a question then. So you probably don't know the person, but okay, the 2 week point. What have you done with the person? Like, what have you found out? You've got to know something within 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, not
Yeah,
enough to know their
you
personality, their characteristics. Do they have mood swings? Are they moody? What do they do
Oh,
when they're upset? And how do they handle money?
so
When's the
tell me,
last time they went to the doctor?
okay, but so tell me, what have you learned though in 2 weeks? What have you learned?
Whatever questions I've asked them so far, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I would know about a
That's
person in two
it.
weeks.
That's it. You only know like his name, where he's from within 2 weeks of.
Well, I imagine some more stuff, right? Like I would probably be asking about their upbringing, a little bit about their past and stuff like that. But I still don't know. But that's basic stuff within 2 weeks that you're asking somebody. I'm probably not going to be asking deep questions within 2 weeks.
I give you the benefit of the doubt because I am a little psycho when it comes to that, but I
Mm,
Well, why aren't you asking the deep questions within 2 weeks, though? I mean, if the purpose is to get to know them.
right, right.
that's true.
That's real.
Because I mean, that's a lot to ask in 2 weeks, right? Especially if I'm not doing anything with you, right? Like, I don't know.
Wait a
That's a
minute,
lot to be
wait.
asking in two
I heard what
weeks.
you
But
just
that's the
said, Jai.
that's the
Jai, I heard what you
introduction
just
phase of
said.
getting to know somebody.
You said that's a lot to ask within 2 weeks, especially if what?
If we're not doing anything and I'm just getting
Right.
to know you.
So are you recognizing doing something as in physical, which means that would be part of getting to know somebody?
No, doing something physical is not a part of getting to know you. We don't have to do anything physical for me to get to know you. That should even
How
be a part of
so?
it.
What?
I would say that's the most that's like I don't think that you can get to know anybody better than that. That's the closest you could ever be
Yeah,
with
that
somebody.
is
How is
true.
that not a part of getting to know somebody?
Yeah, no, women should definitely be taking their time. Like, oh no, especially with the conversation about women and body counts and everything else. You should
No, I'm
definitely
not.
be
No,
taking your
listen.
time out
I don't
here.
disagree with you,
You
Jai. I
should,
don't disagree with you.
yeah,
I don't.
slow
But I'm
down.
also saying that like it sounds like you guys are having a conversation centered around sex before marriage, which is not a sin according to the scriptures. It's not. You're not going to find in the Bible where it says that's a sin. But and in fact, it gives you instructions on what to do if you do happen to do that. It's in Exodus 22:16. He said, if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. That means he recognized that we were going to do that, but then there's some follow-up things that you're supposed to do as pertains to the scriptures and his law, statutes, and commandments. But it doesn't say it's a sin. That's just a practice of the Christian church. It's not a sin though. So I'm just wondering, and I agree with you though that I think that women should wait. I don't think that they should vet themselves either. I think that they should have a strong cast of men that vet for them. I don't think that a woman should try to vet somebody. For you, it's counterproductive, number one, because if you're attracted to somebody, then 9 times out of 10 is confirmation bias right out the gate. You're going to vet based upon the fact that you want to be with this person, or you at least even if it's just in the intimate sense. So, I mean, I think it's probably a better idea for women to have a strong. That's if a woman is looking for a husband or a boyfriend, the first thing I would suggest is not even going that route, but looking for at least 4 to 5 strong, masculine, heterosexual, assertive, and righteous men that are elders of hers to vet this, potential suitor. That's what I would suggest. But I'm just throwing that.
What happens when they don't have that available though?
Well, I think that's a practice that's necessary. You have to make that available. In other words, you have to go look for that. Finding or being found by a husband is a lot like a man finding his wife. So what you all need to look for is a cast of men that can vet. Usually it would have been in the biblical days your father, right? But a lot of women don't have that, So then you still, may have uncles in your family that are righteous men. You may have teachers or coaches in your community, even men in the church potentially, wherever they may be. But it's on you to go and find those men. Just the same way it's on a man to go and find a wife. Now, when he said a wife, of course, the presupposition meaning that she has those qualities, characteristics, mannerisms, and behaviors of one. But it's still on him to find that woman. And yes, probably not sleep with every woman on the pathway to get there, because that would be, defined as whoremongering according to the scriptures. But Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't think that a woman should not have sex. I mean, if you meet a dude in 2 weeks and you feel that, and he feels that, and then you all have some very serious conversations, that are needed to be had in order to, you lock down and you identify those very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very important and serious things necessary for the procreation of a healthy, long lasting relationship and marriage, and you all are in accordance or in agreement there, then sex within the first day or the first 2 weeks, it doesn't matter when it happens. But it's about the surety, and I don't think surety happens based upon a clock. I think surety happens based upon one of the things, like you said, was communication also, but I think it also happens in a number of ways. Observance, whether or not that those persons are available. So for example, if I meet you in the first week and on a Friday, let's say, and then we say we're going to go out on a date a week from then. All right, well, I'm going to call you, 9 o'clock every night. And we're going to just see how available you are. If you're not picking up the phone, you're not texting. If I can't FaceTime you in between that time, then I'm going to start to know some things. This person's unavailable. I mean, you're probably spreading yourself a little bit too thin, kind of like butter scraped over too much bread. So I probably don't want to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? But then again, if I'm talking to you every night, before the date, then that's a different first date than it would be if I, just got your number 1 week and then next week, I saw you again for the first time. So, I think all those things matter. But I think I might agree with the men that it's not typical. We don't typically view getting to know a woman based upon a clock, period of time. But it's just distinction between men and women, I guess.
I guess I'll accept it. Um, who's next? Okay, did anybody else want to go before I let Obi-Wan go? No? All right, Obi-Wan, the floor is yours.
So, can a woman ever truly vet a man? There's only one way, no sex, and I can't read the rest, or I can't see it. No one can truly ever vet someone like to the full extent. Any person can always, at the end of the day, change it up, switch it up, but that's not the case in reality. In reality, a lot of people, and it's not gender specific, a lot of people lose their morals, their standards, and whatever when they're around people with money or with motion or both. A lot of times all that goes out the window, so you overlook certain red flags. So that's more so what happens reality than, and so then you don't vet that person because you're caught up in the hype in the moment, the love phase, whatever they call it. And so it's just like, if you can, and if you actually do the work to research about human behavior, what type of archetypes of men that are more likely to cheat, or women, like that, there's actual, data that can guide you to making better decisions. But I mean, most people don't want to do the work when it comes to relationship. They just want everything to be easy and handed to them.
I don't know, y'all. I can't say I don't disagree. I think that vetting people, I don't think you can ever truly vet a person at all, especially for women and men, right? I tell women that if you take your body off the table, then you'll see how much that man really likes you. And then if it becomes an argument, well, you did so and so for this person, but you don't want to do it for me, then that should be a huge red flag for you, right? It's not about a punishment. It's not about just trying to make somebody wait, right? But sex is such a deep thing, right? That again, that it shouldn't be something that's just taken casually, right? And I don't know if there's really a time frame that you can put on it, y'all, but enough time to where you're not getting unalive or you're not getting hacked up and put into a damn suitcase. I don't know about 2 weeks, y'all.
May I
I
ask,
feel
do
like
you do
it's
you also
really
advise
about
those women not to
listening
allow
to
men to spend on them?
I think it's really about listening to your nervous system. I think
That's a
if
valid question.
anybody's ever been in love, you know what it feels like when you feel safe with a person. You know what it feels like when you're at rest, when you're comfortable, when you're composed, but you're not completely delusional or delirious. Like if
I
you've been
mean,
in love, you know that feeling. So it's really less about
yeah, but
putting
it's
time
dangerous though.
constraints on it and then just letting it be a interpersonal experience. Like you'll know it when you feel it. You know what's good for you based off your preferences. This is all stuff that's based off of our own experiences. So it's really just about listening to yourself. Like, are you comfortable around them? Are they consistent? Do they treat you well? How do you feel when you're around them and after them? Do you feel drained? Do you feel optimistic? Like it's all about paying attention to yourself. So if you have a good relationship with yourself and you know your own, symptoms and your own little tricks, you will know when that person's a good fit for you.
See, I agree with that the last part because that is the key to what you're saying. Now, the first part, it's easily for people to fall into their emotions and think it's love, but what you said definitely saved it by being interested and knowing. So being in trusting yourself in emotions, in your emotions, how you feel in that moment, but you also have to keep in mind, hey, I still have these standards. I still have these rules that I'm abiding by. And it's not just because of I want to be in control. It's okay, I feel like this is actually going to better us.
Ms. Jai, do you also advise men to not spend and protect women through this process of dating and getting to know each other? And do you advise women to not accept that from men?
Yeah. I'm
So
okay
you
with men not spending. I'm okay with a man not wanting to spend any money. That's fine. Take the money off the table.
and
If I'm
also
taking my
protection.
body off the table, you can take your money off the
No,
table.
no,
That's
no, no.
fine.
Well, I said protection, and protection to me is
Mhm.
paramount to provision. You can't have anything inside of an environment until it's safe. So that's our primary role. That's our primary function as males. Do you advise men not protect women during this time period as well?
I don't feel like black men are really wanting to protect us right now anyway. So
Jai, you
respectfully, I'm not
dodging my
asking for their
question.
protection. So
Nah,
it's
Jai,
okay. I'm
you
not
dodging my
advising them to
question.
stop protecting women, but that goes into a whole nother conversation.
There it
Like,
goes. Okay, so but I'm saying you're not advising them to stop protecting women. So it's okay for him to protect, but it's not okay for her
if
to
he
put out.
wants to, if he
That's
wants
not
to.
Well, yeah,
equivalent.
I'm
I think
saying
it's
that. I'm
Yeah,
saying, of
equivalent.
like
course, I'm saying it, but that would be the same on the other end as well. If she wants to, then she should as well. But you're saying you would actively advise women against doing that, even if they do want to.
Yeah, I don't
So
think
I'm
that
saying,
women
why
should
don't
just
you?
be casually sleeping with men. No, I'm
Right.
telling
So
them like
no,
I'm
and
advising
okay, let's
them.
say I agree with you. Do you also
Mhm.
advise the men to not casually protect and defend women as well?
But that's not the same.
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on, bro. Hold on.
those two are not the same to me, right?
They
But
don't
I'm aware
I
they're
am
not the
not to answer
same.
your question. I am not
Mhm.
actively out here telling men go protect black women, especially if I'm telling them they don't want to sleep with you. What I'm saying is I don't feel protected by y'all anyway, so it doesn't matter if you decide that you don't want to protect me because I don't want to sleep with you. That's fine,
No, no,
right?
no. I wasn't. No, I wasn't saying one in tandem with the other. I was saying as isolated streams of advice that you're giving. You
Hmm.
said that you advise women not to put out. Okay, fine. I mean, whether I disagree or agree is inconsequential. But
Hmm.
my question is because that would be the thing that men desire from. I mean, that women desire from. That men desire from women. Right. We don't show up on dates because we want to get to know women. We show up on dates because we want women to feel as safe and secure as possible because we want to sleep with them. We know that throughout the process of a relationship, we're going to get to know women anyway. And we know that 9 times out of 10, like you just said before, or like the brother said before, I think it was that most of the time when it comes to a dating period, we're showing up with our representatives anyway. It's only when you really either when you live with a person or also when you're intimate with a person that you actually get to know them. So I'm just, I'm just curious. I'm aware that they're not the same role, but these are the roles that we yield to each other respectively. Women hold protection paramount when it comes to dealing with a man. No woman I know, and I could ask you this, if you were on a date and a guy came up and let's say he was cursing at you and then he decided to put his hands on you, are you going on a second date with the man that decided to allow that to happen? And I'm
Absolutely
assuming.
not.
Right, right. So you hold paramount protection. You could care less if he defended you and then he still said split the check. At the very least, what would still be in the mind of yourself when you go home is, man, this man stood in the place or in between me and a threat. That's something to be valued, even if he said, yeah, but I still want to go Dutch. So you hold paramount protection. So that's the thing that we're giving you. And the thing that you would be giving us is sex. And you advise women to take that off the table. So I'm just thinking, okay, then it would make sense, in all fairness, if you advise defense to be taken off the table as well.
That's fair. That's I mean, in that sense here, that's fair. If, like, again, even if I correlate it to just myself, right? But again, if I'm telling women, hey, to protect yourself out here, right? Because you run the most risk when you lay down with a man. You run the risk of getting pregnant. You run the risk of getting the STD. You run the risk of being the other woman. There's a lot of things you run the risk as a woman when you lay down with a man. So, yep, fellas, I agree. In that case, if women don't want to sleep with you, then you feel like you're gonna take protection off the table when we go on the date. If that works for you, sir, then do it, right? Now, would I date a man like that? Absolutely not. But if that's a thought
Here's the
process
reason
that
why I
works for
disagree with
you,
that.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that was my thought process. I asked a question. I asked you
no,
what you
I'm
would
telling. I'm
advise.
not saying you. I'm
Oh,
telling
you're
the
saying just in
men, right?
general.
I know
Yes,
you
ma'am.
asked
Okay.
the question,
Just
Sure.
living
You're
but
saying
it
just
still
in
doesn't
general. I understand.
correlate to me. So why women,
Yeah,
if
it definitely.
women are thought to be such whores and sluts and body counts, and we're telling women, so hey, instead of you casually being out here, right? Why don't you slow down, take your time, and take your body off the table so you can really vet and see if a man really wants you for you, or is he just masking around so that he can have access to you, which most men do, right? Now
Well, you
that's a
said once you for
problem,
you.
and it's a
When you
hypothetical question.
when you say
We
once you for
gotta
you, what do you mean by
dispel
that?
this whole masking around thing. For
What?
one, there are men out there masking around, but for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, like I said earlier, when once a lot of women do this, I'm not saying all, but a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women, once they get around the guy that they like, these standards and these morals go off the table. And so it's like it's not that you don't have standards. It's just once you get presented into a circumstance where you feel comfortable, he's suave, the vibe is right, all that, and y'all go forward with things. You're letting your morals and standards go because of your
Mm-hmm.
feelings. So it's more so of that scenario than, oh, he just tricked me right out of my, because that stance can only happen so many times.
Yeah, and like
Yeah, well, I think when two adults
You
are
can't
definitely
keep
laying down
having
with each other,
relationship
nobody's
that
a
you get tricked
victim.
after relationship after
Nobody
trick
got
after
tricked.
relationship after
No.
trick. Like,
it's slightly like a trick. I think that's kind of like a fairy tale. Like when somebody says like, let's see if they like me for me. No, it don't work like that. Especially men seeking a woman. I'm gonna break it to any woman like no man just likes you for you. He's looking for smacks, and then after the smacks, he's looking
it's
for
a
you.
combinational thing.
You know what I
The
mean?
sex
He's
is a
looking for
part of her,
things.
though. That was my point. The sex is a part of a woman. To try to amputate that out of a woman and then classify her as somebody that should be liked, you're removing a. But that's like saying women should like men without their ability to defend or provide. That's ridiculous. That's a part of that man. While it may seem utilitarian nature, which it is, all relationships at their core are transactional. There are things that we exchange between one another that makes relationships work. And if you're going to take that thing off the table, then number one, I think you're leaving it up to chance that women are just this awesome. All right. I want to say this to begin. Like there's a difference between men and women, and how often do you like to be around people that don't like the things that you like? And typically that's the case between men and women. We love y'all. Y'all love us, hopefully. But, in that event, we're just very different. So the likelihood of us, liking so much about you all is slim to none, and vice versa. Our fantasies, offend y'all. Yours bore us. We're just very different in our nature. So, I mean, if in my estimation, God gave us a very easy way for us to at least find pleasure, satisfaction, and comfort in one another, and that's the physical. Now, I'm not saying that you can't like other things about a woman, but I'll say it this way: if any woman is under the impression that any man goes into any room and the first thing he thinks about is, man, she has a great personality, you're sorely delusional.
But that is still a thought, though. That's the thing about it. I don't
I
know
mean,
how
not
many
mine,
times,
but sure. I mean, if you,
because
I've never, I've
it's a
never looked
very
at like I didn't come in here and jai and think, man, I bet you she got a brain on her. That wasn't the first thing that
but
came to my mind.
no, I'm not saying that's the first thing that come to your mind, but it's been plenty of times. I'm pretty sure plenty of men have experienced a beautiful, attractive woman with a terrible personality, and you're like, I'm good.
Oh,
So
yeah, absolutely. Sure.
it plays a heavy effect. So it's not just the main thing is just sex. No, it's like because I do
Well,
want to
I
have
guess
sex.
is it QB or OB? I don't want to get you
OB,
wrong. OB, yeah.
OB.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is also, if a man was never attracted to the woman, then the rest of that shit, I'm sorry, the rest of those things are not even considered. So like whether she has a good or bad personality doesn't even matter to me or any man really, frankly, if she's not at first attractive. So maybe we wouldn't call it paramount, but at least initial is what we could call it.
We have to be careful though, right? Because there are some very dangerous generalizations that can be born out of a lack of framing. And what I mean by that is just because something is such a low probability for us, we tend to think in general it's that way for everyone. But like I said in the comments, like you said, you walked in here and you were like, oh, Jai doesn't have a great mind on you, and that's not the first thing that was in
No,
your
that's not
mind.
what I
But
said.
ironically, hold on, I'm still speaking.
Okay, I'm just saying
But
that's not what I said. I
ironic,
just
hold
don't
on,
just want
just
you to
let me finish.
mischaracterize my words.
Just
That's all.
okay, just let me finish, and then you can fix whatever you think I misunderstood. Just give me a
Sure.
minute. I didn't interrupt you at all, so just give me the same respect. But ironically enough, the first time I was in here, she said something so profound, and the first thing I noticed about her was her mind. So it's like you kind of dismissed that initially because that wasn't your experience, but the exact opposite of your experience was my experience. You get what I'm saying? So we just have to be careful not to overgeneralize because yeah, she's a beautiful woman, but if you're paying attention to some of the stuff she's saying, she has a very cohesive like theology that she's trying to help women understand. Like, see your value first, check in with you first, make sure this is, if you do this, make sure it's because you want to do it. And you have to hear underneath under like all of the like topics and all the different prompts and stuff, she's generally saying it's okay if you want to do that, but just make sure you're doing it because you want to.
Okay, yeah. Well, you just didn't respond to anything I just said then. So I mean, I'm not exactly sure what you want me to say behind that.
I didn't take
That's
that
not what I said. I didn't say. Well, hold on. Now I started talking now, so it would be on you not to interrupt. Yes.
I'm not gonna argue with you, but
Oh no, it's not an argument. Yeah, you finished talking, then I started talking, and you told me you didn't want me to interrupt you. So I'm expecting the same courtesy.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's fine. I just want to make sure you're not getting defensive because it wasn't personal. That's what I was trying to keep you from. Like, it's not personal. Yes, some of these can be general. Some of these are personal examples, but it's not personal. So don't take it that way.
Well, now if anything I would take personal is just you mischaracterizing my words. You said something I didn't say. You said I said, and that's not what happened. I didn't say that she wasn't smart. I didn't say that she didn't have a brain on her. I said that's not the first thing that I thought when I looked at her or when I recognized her. That's not what you said.
Yes, it is.
That's not what you said.
It's not what you heard.
Wait, hold up. I thought you just had a problem with interrupting.
You're literally
wait, hold on. I'm saying, but wait, now you have a problem with the interrupting. I gave
I'm
you your
gonna
space, right?
disengage because you're getting
Okay,
hot right now.
Can
and
I
it's
just
not even that
punch
deep.
when you're done?
Because I didn't say what you said I said. I was talking, I just said that's not the first thing I noticed about Jai. I didn't come in here and think to myself, yeah, she has a great mind. The reason I didn't do that is because I can look at her physical features and say that's an attractive woman. And that's typically what happens when we see people. It has nothing to do with whether or not I think that she could be smart, whether or not she says enlightening things. None of that has anything to do with anything. So I think you just mischaracterized my statement. That's all.
I truly think this is more so of
Let me go
someone.
OB1, and then I'll let you go here because she hasn't had a chance yet. I'm sorry not to cut you off.
Okay, so can a woman ever truly vet? Yes, I think a good way for a woman to vet if a man is a good prospective partner is to temporarily take Smex off the table. Women have more to lose
when it comes to engaging with it. And of course, as a consequence, we attach more emotion to it. We could get pregnant, etc., etc. There's more risk. So we take it more seriously. So taking it off the table allows us to assess the partner more logically. That's all it is. It's really that simple. So whether it negatively affects whomever else, we don't care. We're looking out for ourselves. It's that simple. And I'm noticing a trend in a very specific type of man where they inflate the differences between men and women. They exaggerate the differences between men and women to make it seem as though friendship being the foundation of a relationship is so ridiculous. And in their minds, they replace that friendship, what should be the foundation of any relationship, with SMEX, and they make it seem like that can sustain a relationship. That's a lie. Come back to reality. SMEX cannot maintain a relationship. It's going to be friendship. It's going to be looking out for each other, having each other's back. Yeah. That is what will last the test of time. So if you overinflate the differences between men and women and make it seem like men and women cannot be friends, and if you minimalize a woman down to her physical appearance, you will never have a lasting, worthwhile relationship. And I'm going to land there.
Okay, so I just wanted to just respond to that real quick. I don't have much problem with what she's saying. It's just a little bit more context, right? So the thing about it is there isn't nothing wrong with starting as friendships. But when we see in most common relationships, or just common friendships, that it's more give and take from the man's side, especially if you're trying to start from friendship into relationship. The man is still providing a lot more into it, and the woman is providing just her friendship. And I'm not saying this from my own experience. I'm not saying this from an anecdotal take. You're just seeing the results in men's behavior, how it's changed. Men are very reactive. So if we see that this isn't working, then they're going to change how they approach things. So if they see that, hey, the guys that are getting, and I'm not trying to get too deep in it, but if the guys are getting the women that they want by acting this type of way instead of acting like the friendship way, then they're going to act that way that gets them the results. So and I'm not saying this for all. I'm not saying this to completely combat what you're saying. I still believe, but we also have to look at the other side of that.
So I understand what you're saying, but try to understand that the type of women that you are describing are unhealed and emotionally immature, and that's why they respond to those type of men. So if you play those games, you will attract an emotionally immature woman. That is your life. If you are seeking access to an emotionally mature woman that will help you to sustain your peace and be an asset to your life, then you know what you need to do. If you want to play mind games and attract those type of women, then you're free to do that too. But just know what you're getting yourself into, because then men will turn around and say, oh, this woman was crazy. This woman did that. This woman did this. Think about it. If she is responding to mind games and manipulation, and that makes her more attracted to you, what in God's name made you think that she was going to be your piece? Like,
You don't
if that's
know.
not your intention, if your intention is to hit and run, that's your prerogative. But then
No,
again,
we're not
that's
talking
even
about
more
that.
reason for women to take SMEX off the table. If you're talking about being in a relationship with these type of women that respond to men that act a certain way, that are low effort, those women have low self-esteem. So that comes with its own issues. So you really have to choose what you want from this life, because you will think that you are benefiting off of her low self-esteem, and you'll come to realize that you are harming yourself as well in the process by being with that woman. So I'll just land there.
Okay. I you said quite a few things that was very true, very, very factual. It's just you're mixing you're saying these kind of blanket statements, but relationships are extremely individualistic. So, and it is true that some of those women are unhealed or immature, but also some of them just are young and they don't know any better. So then it's not that they're unhealed; they just don't
So
know
they're
any better because
immature
they weren't taught.
because they're young and
So
they
they
don't know
might be
any better.
immature. Okay, so they're immature, right? And but when we're talking about people that are trying to get into relationships in their 20s, mostly both sides are immature. So it's just like that. In the ideal world, yes, that makes sense, but in reality we have to add context to fit and mold that to fit reality, because ideology, yes, on paper through words it sounds perfect, but once you, like I said, you add reality to it, things have to start shifting a little bit.
So the solution is not enabling immature ideologies in men and women and delusional ideologies when it comes to relationships. The solution is bringing them back to reality so they understand what a sustainable relationship is. So this nuance that you're talking about is not very nuanced at all. Do you know what I'm saying? You're trying
It
to add
is though.
nuance to add
It is.
you're trying to, I'll finish. You're trying to make it seem nuanced to include these immature relationships within the definition of what a healthy relationship is, and that's not going to work. They're immature and unhealthy for a reason. It's only nuanced because they are unhealthy. But what a healthy relationship is very simple and very universal, even if it takes different forms. So again, the goal is to educate young men and women on how to conduct a healthy relationship, not to make it seem, oh yes, some women are enticed by the mind games that some men play and that's just the way they're wired. That's a lie.
It's not a lie. That's the
Let
thing
me
about
let
it.
Rod go next, because I
The
know
whole
she
bad
been
boy
waiting.
image is there for a reason.
What I'm saying is a lie.
It's not a lie.
It's not that these women are attracted to these men. I'm
They
saying the
are.
fact that that is a healthy attraction
Guys,
is a lie.
guys,
We're
I
not
get,
saying it's a
guys.
healthy
Okay,
attraction.
Okay.
Obi,
No one
Obi,
said
Obi,
that.
hold on. We have to let the new panelists go, guys. We got to keep order.
So if I were to go with the prompt, which is, can a woman ever truly vet a man? And then I can't see the rest, but it says there's only one way, no blank at all.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to, I would tread more on the line of agreeing. And the reason why is because, men will say, people will say anything to get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's easy to find a person, and I'm not going to even make it man versus woman because I know there's a gender war going on, and I choose not to be a part of it. So people will say and do what they need to say or do to get what they want. And so because of that, if I were to give advice to a woman, I would express to her, it would be in your best interest to do the things that you need to do to create a space for clarity. And clarity would mean not adding anything that could cloud anyone's judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my opinion on it. All the other stuff, it sounds cute. We can twist the narrative and change the topic and turn things around and talk about age, because everybody who's single is not 20. Right. Everybody single is not 18, 19, 20, 25, 30. There are people such as myself. I became a widow at 42. I was in a relationship from 17 to 42. And so in that instance, I'm now a 42-year-old navigating a space with loads of dudes who have been dejected and rejected by people for years. And so they learned how to play a game that I've never played before. So because of that, I have to make sure to create a space where people's intentions come through. And that would be not including intimacy.
Yeah. Oh, I agree, Rod. I agree. I'm 40, so I mean, I'll be 40 in May, so close enough. But I don't disagree. I feel like women take on such a huge risk, right? And the men have admitted, and there's nothing bad. We're listening, right? But the men are like, yes, we will do whatever we need to do to get whatever we want from you, because that's just
Oh no,
It's
ma'am, I
just the
didn't admit
way.
that. I didn't admit that. Maybe some other men did. I didn't say that.
Well, we're not talking. This is not a conversation about you specifically.
That's
It's
just
about
what they're
a
taking
general. It's
from
a.
it.
I'm
This is
aware.
a
I'm saying
blanket
I know it's not a
conversation.
conversation about me. I'm saying she made the claim that the men admitted that, and I was just saying I was not part of those men.
No
I
one
didn't mean
admitted
it.
that, but
Yeah,
that's just what they're
yeah,
taking out of what we say.
yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it wasn't me that made the claim. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
when you
priceless.
said what you
Yes,
said, Miss Kai,
absolutely.
Miss Kai, when you said
I
what
want
you
to. I
said,
want to
just
address a comment, which is about speak to how men and women want intimacy potentially just as much. One, science has proven, and you can Google it. It's not as distant as we once believed it was, but science has proven that men definitely think about it more than women. I'm not discrediting the fact that women can think about it just as much as men, but scientifically, if you want me to speak on things, I speak in fact, not in fiction, not in opinion. Science has already proven that men do, whether it's 2% or 22%. Men do think about it more than women. With that being said, I behoove any human being, male or female, to do the things to make sure that they're in a space to have discretion and choose appropriately.
Once again, I'm going to make it very clear on the position I stand on, so you don't take what I'm saying out of context. I don't have an issue with you being friends first, as long as is it from a truthful stance where you're actually trying to build with someone. So I was only bringing up the fact that people use that start as friends as a tool of manipulation, and I'm just addressing the facts.
yeah,
So it's
I don't
not
agree
saying
with
that I'm
friendship either.
against it. I'm just saying both sides. I'm not just going to say one side of the truth.
Oh, I'm
So
wholeheartedly against the whole friendship thing between men and women. I'm not for that. I don't think that men and women should be. I don't think that men should be pursuing friendship with women that they're attempting to date or be with intimately. I think that's a fool's errand. So I'm against it.
I don't. I just.
Yeah,
Why do you
I'm
disagree?
not saying I disagree with you, brother. I'm just saying that there's a we just have you and I just have a different opinion. No big deal. It's not like
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't.
like I said, it's very individualistic. Relationships is very individualistic. So what you want is not necessarily what I want. But what I say is, it definitely helps. It definitely helps when you're looking for a long-term relationship, trying to actually get to know the person, and it will naturally, unless you're overly lusted, it will naturally happen. Now, like I said, there's two sides to that coin. You got the women that are actually looking for that, where it will naturally happen, and then you have the women that are using that as a tool to just get what they want, whatever it is, out of that person. It happens all the time. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be minute for that time, whether it's attention, money, whatever, food. That happens all the time. So I just want to bring the other side of the coin up, as well as the things you guys are addressing.
Sure, yeah, I can agree with that.
All right, y'all. Let me see. Oh, you got so quiet here. Okay, what did I miss, y'all?
Oh no, I think everybody went on mute. We was kind of waiting on your cue or something.
Okay, I was like, it got quiet.
Seemed
Okay,
like you was about to
so,
regulate.
and I want to clarify too what I meant earlier. It's not all the men, right? But we did have some guests up here that admitted that maybe in their experience, right, they have masked on, use a different personality to get what they want with women. They kind of had the same thing. Well, if you're going to take smacks off the table, then you're just going to keep getting my representative till I get what I want. So I'm like, well, that's the reason why women
Oh
shouldn't
no,
do
no,
it. Cause
that wasn't my point at all. I was just saying that when it came, I was using that analogy in the vein of the portion of the conversation that was referenced of getting to know somebody. And I was saying that 9 times out of 10, if we're dating, which is a practice where we're going out to public places typically and hanging out, you're not going to really get to know somebody. That's a separate person than you're really going to be with when it comes to an actual relationship. When you're in a relationship, you're around this person in their personal space for a lot of that time period. That's a lot less like dating. These two things don't even They don't even really coincide. So really, what you're doing on a date is mostly conversation. But in comparison to living with somebody or being in their personal space all the time, that's vastly different in the realm of getting to know somebody, so to speak, quote unquote. So I mean, like I said, I agree with you. Women have a lot to consider when laying down with a man. I think that some of those things do overlap into male territory. Like for example, I'm not sure exactly which woman said or somebody said up here, disease. That's something that men also have to consider. I think the only primary distinction is pregnancy, because we both have to worry about the child when it comes into the world. And when I say worry, I mean be concerned with its health and maturation and all those things. But aside from the pregnancy, we really don't differ. And even inside of those, time periods, there are things that men undergo as well. So, I mean, yeah, I can agree to, once again, like I said, I think that men should vet for women. Agree that they need to take their time. I'm not exactly sure if it's wise to announce that they don't intend on having sex, though. I think that's the place where women kind of go, yeah, I don't think you should tell a man, yeah, I'm abstinent. Don't tell a man I'm waiting until marriage. I think that's ridiculous, because what you're essentially doing is telling him then, okay, you're going to be in a self-sacrificial mode until we get to that time period. And that's ridiculous, because his roles don't stop. You still expect him to provide. You still expect him to protect. Because you just said a minute ago that you felt like, and you said a minute ago, that's why I asked you the question. I said, you do expect him to protect. If he doesn't, you're not giving him a call back. That's because that's a standard of yours. That's an expectation. And if he takes that off the table, you're not doing it.
You don't have to provide. Like, you don't have to do all that, right? Like, I'm taking those things off the table.
Are you going on a second date with a man that decides to tell you during the date that it's either free or that it's Dutch, or that he wants you to pay for him? Are you going on another date with him?
Realistically, no.
So you expect him to protect and provide, Jack. Come on, Jack.
Can I insert myself in this space? This is my favorite type of space.
Jack, you slick. You over there. I see you sipping with you. You slick. You real slick.
Can I insert myself in this space? This is my favorite type of space. One, I don't know if your name is Moshe. Is your name Moshe?
It's just Moshe. That's Hebrew for Moses. You can call me Moses or Moshe. Either one. It doesn't matter.
I'll call you Moshe. I love your name.
Sure.
But yeah, Moshe, I will suggest, I will push back on your idea that women should not express their intention. I completely believe that women should only ever express their intention. I would suggest, because again, that creates a space where if someone is not aligned with you, they drop like flies. Exactly. So I would never tell someone, don't say what you think, because now you're wasting your time. And I would love, Moshe, I would love to answer your question. I would love for a dude to tell me he's not capable of providing. I want him to be himself. Will I be with him? Absolutely not. But I want to know I'm not going to be with him early. I don't want to waste my time. The same way he shouldn't waste his time. I'm not into games. I'm into real life. And again, I'm someone who has been married and expects a marriage again. So because of that, I'm not interested in playing games. I'm not interested in saying the things that need to be said for someone to enjoy me for the moment. If I want to rip I'm the type of girl that rips a bandage off early. I don't want to sit and poke at it. Oh, it's hurting. No, rip it off. Rip it off and rip it off fast. Matter of fact, I'm going to hold my breath and you rip it. I want to know. So because of that.
Real quick. Let me ask you a question. What type of man do you suspect is the man that rebels or appreciates to hear the fact that he's not getting the very thing that he wants when dating a woman? What type of man do you think that is?
A man that I want. A man who has an intention to raise a family, to build an empire, and every aspect of his life is not related to what happens in his pants. That's the only man I want.
Sounds like
so if a man, let me just finish my thought. And I want to hear you. I do want to hear you, but I want to finish my thought. My thought is the man for me will be a man that the only thing on his mind and the only thing that motivates him is not what's in my private parts. I'm a woman. I have moments where I can't do certain things. And so if the only reason why he's with me is because of my ability to do certain things, what if I can't do that thing? Then what? Then he's
No.
not with me? Then
Right,
he's not
right,
for me?
correct.
So I want to
If
make
you
sure
can't
that
do
I
that,
have a
if
man
you can't
who's
do
just
those things,
dedicated to the cause.
okay, I hear you. Yeah, let me. You want a slave? Then that's what
No,
it
I
sounds like.
don't.
That's what it sounds like. You just named. You said
And
you
I'm
wanted.
sure
Wait,
that,
hold on. Wait, stop.
and
Hold
if
on for a
that
second.
sounds like
Hold on
that
for a
to
second. Hold on for a
you,
second, because I got quiet and I'll let you finish. But that's
right?
exactly what you said. You said if I can't do that thing anymore, then he's not with me. Yeah.
Yeah,
So then, what does that leave him in the capacity to do? If you can no longer do that thing, but he still has the role of provision and protection, what do we
right.
call that?
My
That's
only
a bodyguard. That's a slave. That's somebody that's doing everything for you and receiving nothing that he desires in return. So, I mean, you can say that you want a man that'll be that way, and maybe you do. A lot of women do. That sounds probably. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I were a woman, that sounds ideal. Somebody that I'm not obligated to at all, but that is obligated to me. That's essentially what you just described. And unfortunately, that's just not the way men work. That's not the way anybody works. We recognize relationships as give and take, as symbiotic, as
Okay.
mutually beneficial. So if you're gonna if you're
So
gonna require
Mosaf,
something,
the only
hold on for
thing
a
I
second, hold on,
have to
excuse me,
give,
hold on, give me a
yeah,
second, hold on,
oof,
hold on. So
sir, yes, you're amazing.
if you're going to say that you want that type of man, that's why I asked you what type of man would listen to that and then still stick around. And that would be a
Yeah.
self-sacrificial man that has set no standard for himself of the things that he desires in a relationship, and he has set no requirement on them. And if that's the man that you want, okay, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Did you ever think that some men have sexual discipline and are actually okay with waiting a certain amount of time to have sex?
Not just that,
Did
Danny.
that
Not
ever
just that.
occur to you?
You want me to answer that
Can I
question, or
just
were you asking
add?
me a rhetorical
I just
one?
want to add something because I want him
Well,
to
wait, hold on. Wait,
address
I can't
that.
talk to, hey, lady, I can't talk to
Yeah,
both of
so I
y'all at
just
the
want to
same
address that.
time.
So Mosaf, so I want to
She's
just
talking.
I want to just add to what I want you to
Okay,
answer
I'm
both
talking now.
questions. I want to give you the floor. So
Okay,
I
well,
just
okay,
want
well,
to
give me a second
elaborate
to
on her
give me a
question.
Oh
second to
God,
answer
I can't
one
hear
at a
her.
time, though, is what I'm saying. That's what I
Yeah,
need to
but
do. I can't answer
I want
both
to
of
give
them at
you
the
the
same time.
floor
You
to
have to
elaborate on
allow
her
her to
question.
finish her submission, and then you can go exactly what she's saying. So
Right,
let
but
her
she's not the one
finish.
that asked the first
Sir,
question.
I
That's what
don't
I'm
want to
saying.
have to
She's not the
mute
one.
you because this has
Oh,
been a
I don't care.
respectful conversation,
I
but
don't care
please
if
let
you
her
mute me. I'll
finish.
just leave. I don't have a problem with that.
Please just let her
If you want,
finish. She
if
says
you
she's
want to
going to
mute me, I'll
give you
just
the
go.
floor directly
Okay, you
after.
can
This
go
doesn't
then.
have
Let
to
her
Okay.
be
talk.
a back and forth. Just let her
Okay.
finish.
Yeah, and I'm saying that two people asked me a
You're
question. I'm trying to
You
saying
know
figure
too
out
what,
where the
Mosaf?
question is
much.
coming
Go
from.
ahead,
You're
Mosaf.
That's all.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll bow out. I'm that kind of girl, so I'll bow out for you.
It's really just about respecting Jay's panel. The rules are really limited in here. We don't speak over each other, and the condescension is not necessary to make a point. We're just saying let her finish her submission. You've been up here for like more than 20 minutes. You've had a time to speak. Let her get hers off. That's
Yeah,
all
I'm
we're
just saying.
saying.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is that two
And
people
all you're
asked me a
saying is
question.
too much out
But
of
she didn't
turn.
finish. I was adding on to her question so you could have the floor to kind of elaborate on the answer. And just so I want, in case he's in the room, I wanted to be sure. I wasn't trying to create a secondary question that would make it more complex for him. What I was trying to do, however, was add on to her question because her question is a more yes or no. And I wanted to add on to her question to create a space for him to express himself completely versus just pretending to have an answer. I wanted him to fully fulfill the question. That was my intention.
My question was completely rhetorical anyway. I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty evident that
So
some men have sexual discipline, and that doesn't mean that people that sleep with strangers don't have sexual discipline. Sexual discipline just means putting what you need above what you want. Not everybody needs a relationship, but if you know that you need a relationship and you need to go about it a certain way, have the discipline to choose what you need over what you want. So when I said some men have sexual discipline, to some men, their priority is a relationship over temporary dalliances, or do you get what I'm saying? But what I was saying was rhetorical, but he doesn't pay
Right.
attention, so he didn't know
Right.
that.
I mean,
Trying to get to the
that's a little
bottom of
unfair, but
because he seen. Obi, were you speaking?
yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with him, but the scenario was a little kind of convoluted. But I just think that it's okay to have ideals and expectations, but once again, and I've heard this quote plenty of times, which is it always holds true. Know your worth but also know your market value. So if your worth is all the way up here, your market value has to also be all the way up there. So I agree with you got what you guys saying, but like I said, the ideals have to apply with reality, not just by ideals.
Right. I'm going to speak to what the other guy who ended up completely leaving. I'm just because I don't know if you agree with him or kind of see where he's
I
coming
don't.
from. But just okay. So,
I don't
but
agree
just
with him. I understand what he was trying to relay,
mhm.
and it's not correct. I just comprehend it. And
Right,
it's
and I
when
comprehended
people
it as well. I
Oh, I'm
comprehended
not
what he
saying
was
that.
saying.
I'm not saying you didn't. I'm saying okay. I'm
Mhm.
trying just like when he was trying talking to the other lady when they
Yeah.
were going back and forth. It was more so they were saying the same thing just from two different perspectives. He's saying it
Mhm.
more so from a primal thought process as
Right.
first instinct is, oh, I'm looking at you through attraction. What she was speaking about was more so the thought process going through afterwards. So that's where it's just like a lot of these conversations, if we just get to understanding that we're not on the same page when we're talking about these phrases that people are saying. First, we have to get aligned to what we're talking about, and then let's engage in the debate. Because it's too
You
many
brought
times we're
up
having two different arguments.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the idea that he was speaking more primally because that's what's happened. And without getting too specific, what happens with certain types of um, we're in a space where we have to be specific. So what happens with a lot of XX individuals versus XY, because I want to make sure I'm specific and understood because people really
Mhm.
get caught up in gender and all this stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when it comes to XX individuals, there is a level of primal instinct that comes into play in how they receive XY individuals, and even if they choose to, XX individuals. And so I understood where he was coming from. He was coming from a very primal place, which
Yes.
forces him to now choose, does he want to deal within the XY community or the XX community? So I get where he was coming from. However, for me, as an XY individual, I only deal with XX community who choose to deal with XY communities. And so to hear someone who's only in the primal, that just jades a lot of the things. Now it's, are you XX? Are you with XX? Are you with XY? Like it just convolutes a lot. So sometimes you have to live outside of just primal. You have to live in logic. And men have the ability to be logical. Certain men choose only to live primally. I don't think that's healthy. I don't choose to date within that culture where an XX individual only chooses to have a thought process that's based in primal instinct. But I do understand where he was coming from. And so my question to him was more, well, if you were to choose one, XY individuals, natural born women, because I can only speak to that because I am a natural born woman. So I can only speak to that. So natural born women tend to want to create a space where we are seen valuable in terms of more than what's in between our legs. Because now anybody could just be, if you were living primally, anybody could be only seen sexually. So for me, it's important to know that there's a man who wants to build something beyond primal. I want to have a man who wants to raise a family. I want to have a man that wants to create a family with me. I want to have a man who, wants to
That
be a
is
provider
primal.
as I am a nurturer. So his questions, though I completely and fully understand it, he would not be my type of man because he lives more primally, which could potentially lead to him wanting to never make a decision whether he chooses to live or share a life in XX or XY. And I know the type of man that I deserve and require. If that makes sense
And
to anybody
as
in
you
the room.
as you should. What I'm merely saying, and you where your standards are is your standards. And here's the thing: what you're saying to the for the people that are looking for that, understandable. But what I'm seeing is you're not looking at the perspective of the male perspective as well, right? You're only seeing it as, oh, they're just looking for lust. They just have their lustful gaze. No, that's just it's certain primal things you can be sexually disciplined, but it's not going to change your sex drives. You're still going to have that, and this is so that's still going to be there, right? So, and that's not. I'm not trying to get semantical with this, right?
You
We pretty
can.
much are, but but to pull back a little bit, right? What I'm saying more so is the other side of that is there's women in that pool that are convoluting and that are messing up what you guys are wanting because they're using that same metric and that same tool to manipulate. So now you have men confused. And I'm not saying all men, but you do have men confused because at one point you have these actually good women that are wanting these things and these standards, and it's like, okay, cool, we go, we fly. And then you have other women that is a lot. I'm not saying a majority, I'm not saying all, but it is a lot that follow that type of lifestyle that is manipulating to just get what they want out of it. So I'm not
Ivy.
saying, oh, man should just do this because of that. I'm saying that is a effect from that cause, if that makes sense.
Obi, can I say something and you will like give me your take on what I'm
Sure,
about to say? Right.
sure.
So the onus is this what you're speaking about, women taking smecks off the table as a manipulation tactic. The onus is on the people that the women are dating, in this case, men, to use their discernment. The same way these women that are taking smecks off the table that have good discernment, that's what they're doing. They're using their discernment. Do you understand? So the onus is always on the individual to use their discernment.
I
That's
agree.
number one. Number two, that I've noticed there are multiple types of men that want a relationship.
Hmm.
There are men that see relationships as a partnership
Hmm.
and also a friendship. And then in addition, smecks. And then there are men that would like to gain access to a woman smexually for a long period of time, like guaranteed home. How can I put this? You guys know what I mean. So there are a lot of men that
Hmm.
they pursue women purely to have access to them sexually for a long period of time. So they will wave around that title of wifey or girlfriend, but it's a facade because all they really want is the box. So
And
what this does is weed out those types of men, not just the men that want to hit it and quit it, but also those type of, in my eyes, even more insidious men that will pretend that they care and pretend that they love you long term when really all they care about is what you've got down there.
I
Do you understand what I'm
agree.
saying?
I agree that it vets some men out, but it does not vet the most heinous man out. It doesn't vet the most suave men out because, like I said in the beginning when I got here, the vetting process is only one side of it because there's
Mm.
another side where when women meet the guy that they really like, the vetting process goes out the window. The morals go out the window. The standards go out the window. And I'm not speaking, and guess what? She said those are unhealed women. But guess what? That is a natural biological reaction for women. So it's not just because you're unhealed, it's because that's you're falling into your primal stage. So that's just human behavior. And I'm only saying this to say, hey, it's more than just people being primal. It's just that's human behavior.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about the scum that are just trying to just in the pants. I'm saying like
Okay. The issue
everyone is
with what you're
looking for
saying,
sex at some point in time.
okay. The issue with what you're saying is we are biologically wired to survive, and that's it. I don't know if you've heard therapists saying this, but the human mind is not wired for happiness or contentment or things like that, or even to care about the well-being of other people outside of your immediate self. Do you understand? So our biological instincts do not guarantee happiness or contentment, which is where logic comes in, which is where pattern recognition comes in. So when you say things like women biologically, oh, they're just attracted to this, that's the standards naturally go out the window when they find a guy that they really like. There's a lot of things that come naturally to a lot of people, but what is natural is not always what is good. Do you understand? Like
I'm not saying it's not.
your patterns,
I'm not
for
saying it's
example,
good.
what's natural to me right now, for example, maybe patterns that I've learned in the past or biological drives, but that doesn't mean that that's what I need. And that doesn't mean that that's what is best for me. So basically, to simplify, biological drive is not necessarily what humans need as a collective to do well or
You're
be happy.
misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not
I'm not
saying it's
misinterpreting. I'm
okay.
just trying
I'm
to
not
add
saying
on
it's
and
okay.
clarify to what you're saying. Because
Can I
some
just
people
say
will.
Once
something? Can
again,
I just
I
say
will say
something
this
really
and you
quick?
guys go ahead. I'm not saying it is okay. I'm adding the reality factor of it. I believe in the ideology of it, but there are reality factors that play. So we can, when you put reality in it, things shift and change. And that's just what it is. I'm not saying that it's
Mhm.
good. I'm not saying that more women should do this. I'm saying, hey, I get what you're saying. But once we apply reality, this is what happens. These are some of the variables that are the outcomes.
Right. So what you're saying is true, but basically what I'm doing is reminding women and men about what is hypothetically best, because we know what people are driven to do. We know what people's instincts are. Like, we already know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what you're saying is not really news to anyone. It's good that you reminded us of it, but I am reminding everybody that you're not, like, your instincts aren't always what's best for you. So I'm not wrong in this case, and neither are you.
No, I disagree with the lady that said it earlier, talking about believing your instincts. I agreed somewhat, but then I told her why I don't always agree with that, because the best narcissists are some of the nicest people you ever meet, are some of the coolest people you ever meet. They could play the game better than most people. So that's where it's just like your instincts could get tricked easily.
So what do you think about?
I think Lady T had wanted to go next. Dammy.
Yeah, just real quick. I wanted to lay a little foundation here, because this is a really slippery slope when we're talking about particulars and generals at the same time. Everybody has to remember that our preferences and our perception are guided by our experiences. So there's no one version that's going to allow everybody's like point of view to be heard in completeness. Like nobody's going to be able to get their entire point out, but the whole gist of it is to be able to like understand. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's something that women are really good at. We are not a monolith, and we talk about that a lot. There are a lot of different type of black women. You get what I'm saying? So we're more well versed in having conversations and having to consider, hey, this isn't my experience, but this is something I can understand because of the way she's explaining it to me. But I feel like when it comes to men, the closest they have for that is to just be like, well, women do it too, as opposed to being like, okay, I understand that experience even though I haven't lived it.
I hear where you're coming from, but that's a limited. I'm glad you said that's what you feel, because that's not really fact. There are some men out there that do that, but a lot of men are based off of what the facts are, what the logic is. So they don't implement the that emotional side to it. Now, not to say that men aren't emotional, because we are. We're very emotional. But when it comes down to understanding facts in scenarios like that, it's less about the opinion and more about the fact. So so when you say that, I gotta push back a little bit, because that's only you're now monolithic men, and that's men aren't a monolith either.
The thing is, it's not monolithic. When I'm speaking in particular like that, I'm only talking about what I'm talking about. I'm only talking about the men it applies to. I don't need to be reminded that there is another subsect of men that it doesn't apply to. I'm very well aware of that. But what I'm talking about in current, is the fact that these type of men have a tendency to project and deflect away from someone's experience and even minimize someone's experience because they don't have the wherewithal to perceive it and understand it outside of their own experiences. That's what I'm talking about. You're talking about what I'm not talking about. I don't get how that applies to my point.
because because your point is a little bit broader than just that specific area. That's why. And so I'm broadening it because there's, like I said, there's two sides to every coin. And a lot of times only one side gets brought up because it fits a person's narrative. Regardless if it fits my narrative or not, I'm going to share both sides of the coin.
All I was doing was drawing a comparison between why women and men are having a hard time understanding each other. And I genuinely think it's because a lot of people struggle to understand experiences outside of their own perception. And women tend to notice this because it
Yeah.
comes up in conversation between me and my friends, me and my sister. We talk about it all the time, how like something that we will do with the best of intention and we'll explain to someone to the best of our ability, they still won't be able to understand because they have never had that experience and they can't see past something that they've never been through.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
really
talking
off.
about it's a contention point in communication. That's all I'm pointing out. That's why I was like, that has
Literally.
nothing to do with what I was talking about.
You make perfect sense. There's literally nothing to like people. It's literally a fact that people have a harder time understanding experiences that they haven't
I'm
personally
not
had. Like, what are we
disagreeing.
even talking about?
I'm not
Not that people
disagreeing.
cannot
You keep
understand
you
different
keep trying to
experiences.
place my stance as if I'm disagreeing. And once again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'll say this a third time. My point is merely to say that is true. Here's the other side to that. If you want to reject that other side or not bring it up, okay. You don't have to. I will. You don't have to come at me for bringing up the other side.
Nobody's coming
Well,
at you. It just the way you were talking, it made it seem like you didn't understand what she was saying,
I
even though it was
did.
very simple. So we were
You
trying to
just
get to
weren't
the
listening
bottom
to what I
of
was saying.
whether or
All
not
right,
you
y'all.
understood.
Before we get into that, we do got two other people on the panel. I'm gonna let go. Is it Amada?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Ian, you'll be next.
yeah, all right.
So for the longest, I believed that a woman couldn't vet a man. Like, there's no way you could possibly vet a man. But over time, I've realized that the vetting process is the most important part of the vetting process is leaving. The reason why a lot of people don't vet properly is because something will happen and they'll give the person another chance, and then something else will happen and then they'll give them another chance, and then something else will happen and then you end up in this loop. So I feel like the most important part about vetting somebody is when you see something weird or you experience something, your discernment feels some type of way, or you anything, you up and leave, and that's how you vet properly. And also the other part about vetting is always focusing on yourself. You focus on yourself and you leave whenever something seems a little shady. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I agree here. Definitely all good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ian, you next.
Yeah, listen, you can never vet anyone. Right? I'm gonna be dead ass serious. You can't ever vet anyone. If you genuinely like someone, if you're attracted to them physically, you like their personality, you're gonna make exceptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does not matter what they do, you're gonna make an excuse. When you meet that person that actually, makes you feel a type of way, you're gonna make excuses for their behavior. So I know online everything sounds good, and people can say this and that. Oh yeah, you just leave when things don't work out. But when you actually meet someone that you like, it's not as easy as that.
If you have standards,
Trust me, it's not
meaning
that easy.
if you
It
have
is that easy.
standards, if you have standards, and the thing that's really important that I teach the women that I coach about standards is that
it doesn't matter how much you love or care about the person or how much that you're attracted to the person. The standards go for every single man that comes into your life. It's a standard. If I like the way you look, I like the way you treat me, but you do something that is against those standards, then you get dropped regardless of who you are. And that is how you vet. Yes, there is a way to vet. The military vets. People vet for jobs all the time. There are ways to vet. You just have to be able to, you have to have your standards. If you say, okay, if he yells at a waitress, right? If he yells at a waitress, I'm going to give him a warning, right? Or, but if he raises his voice, I drop him. You know what I mean? And if you keep that standard across the board, then it doesn't, you're vetting. That's your process. That's what you're willing to tolerate within a relationship, period. You know?
Yeah. Let me just add to that as well. I've got a lot of female friends, right? They talk exactly how you talk, right? But with due process and due time, they always succumb and they're always in a relationship with a guy who does the bare minimum, right?
Okay, so can I respond to that?
Yes,
There are
please.
two types of people on this planet. There are people that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And then there are
Exactly.
people that back what they're saying.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to know the women that actually have standards and the women that don't. There are a lot of the women on the internet that say, oh, I want a 6'6" man, 6 figures, this, that. You turn around, you look at the man that they're dating,
Bums.
rags.
Yeah,
And then
bums.
there are women that you go to her profile and guess what? He is 6'6". He makes 6 figures. So just because some women act like they have standards and they don't, that doesn't make women a monolith, that all women don't actually have standards, because there are a lot of women
Right. That
that have
doesn't mean that you
standards. You
can't
just
vet.
have to pay
Damn
attention.
you. I date a lot. I'm telling you now, the girls that I've dated, like, I'm not joking with you. I date a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. I date a lot. And a
Yeah.
lot of these women that I've dated, if you see some of the men, it makes me just think, like, how did you even, you're seeing me, but how did we even get here, right? You're dating me and you used to date a guy that looks like that. A guy that was not even focused on his career, he wasn't even doing nothing with himself. How did
I
we even get here?
I
I mean, you're
didn't
probably
say
dating a
that.
girl that doesn't have standards if
No, I
she's
date
dating with somebody.
lawyers.
If
No,
you're
let's not
dating
do
a woman
that.
that
I
doesn't have
date
standards,
lawyers. I date lawyers,
So?
teachers.
lawyers
So?
don't. There are lawyers that don't have standards. One of my most successful friends. Why? What are you making noises about?
Literally, just because someone is
Wait,
successful in
Danny.
one part. Okay.
See, this is what I'm saying about the girls that date you not having standards.
No,
If I say something like that, and then you make a sound like that,
there's a reason why, Megan.
it proves, calm down. It proves that you're the
Okay.
type of guy who can't really control your emotions. And that's a guy that will be disqualified quickly from my dating pool. So yes, the girls that you're dating probably don't have standards. And that's the reason why you're looking at the other guys that she's dating as if she's dating without standards. But you're also one of the guys that she is dating because she does not have
Literally.
standards.
But why is it every time, like, guys, I'm telling you, like, these are normal everyday girls. Like, when I'm
Right.
dating someone,
Can I respond to that?
Can I finish, please? Please, let's not do this thing where we cut someone off and they can't finish their sentence and you now go off on a tangent, yeah? These girls that I date, they're very down-to-earth people, right? I don't date just anybody, right? I speak to the girls and I get to know them. And most of them they've got a good family, they've got a good background, they're very good people, right? There's nothing wrong with them. So let's not do this narrative where we're insulting the girls and saying, oh, these
We don't
girls
know
might not
them.
see.
We're not saying nothing about
I'm
that.
telling you.
I'm telling you is that you could be the most successful person in the world and not have standards. That's who raised them and their degrees and how much money they have has nothing
How'd
to
you know
do
that?
with
If
their.
you don't know them, how'd you know they
Yeah, I
don't have
thought you said you
standards?
didn't want to talk over people. Doesn't
Because you're
mean
adding
that you
stuff
don't.
that
What's going on? And what's going on?
you're adding stuff that's not
Is
even
everything
true.
okay with you? Why are you talking over me? Control your
Cause
emotions. Let me finish this.
okay,
It
man.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they are as a person. If you are still going out and dating men who can't let you finish a sentence before he butts in, if you're going out and dating men who look like that and don't have careers and don't have this and don't have that, but you have a really good background and great family, you still don't have standards. And that's the reason why I teach women that they should build their standards. You have to create your standards and you have to create boundaries that people cannot cross. And if people don't meet your standards, they can't. That's what I'm saying. If they don't meet your standards, they can't date you. Yes, you might go on the first date, but clearly you're still single. You might go on the first date and I'll realize, oh, this guy doesn't meet my standards, and I will leave. You will never see me again. That's how you vet. The question is, can you vet? I'm telling you, yes, you can vet. But yeah, there are some women who don't have standards. Therefore, they can't vet.
Can I simplify it for him?
Go on,
There
man.
are a lot of
Yeah.
intelligent women, right? Women that are intelligent in terms of academics, work, career. Just because you're intelligent in one sector of life does not mean you're intelligent in another. Just because you're good at being a nurse or a doctor does not mean you're good at picking out romantic partners. It's very simple. And that doesn't mean, and a lot of people don't have standards. We know these girls that you're dating, they're everyday normal girls. They're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with them. We know. They're normal people. A lot of people do not have standards. Our point that we're trying to make is having standards is not some silly woo-woo ideology, spirituality thing. It's an action. It's a doing word. You say, I have this standard. This is what I will do if they don't meet it. And if you're serious, if you're a serious candidate, what you say is what you will do. And if you are unserious, then that's not the case. But we know that men have access to intelligent, high, quote unquote, high value women without standards. We know this. Like, we know there are also women that have standards that are high value. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah, so to add to that, guys, so I just want to make a clear picture for you guys. So these women, they definitely have standards, right? They're not gonna date, huh? What's that? They're not gonna date bums, right? They're not gonna date guys that don't have respect for women, guys that listen to I forget what's his name, these what's that guy, Tate something. Do you know what I'm talking about? Tate. He was on
No,
TikTok.
Andrew
Andrew
Tate.
Tate.
Yeah, that's it. Andrew Tate. Yeah, they
you
would
knew
not
his
even
name.
want to have any association with a guy that listens to any of that guy's videos. Like, they'll literally tell me, like, they'll be very straightforward. Listen, I don't want any guy that listens to his rhetoric. I want someone that can respect me, someone that. So when you guys talk and you say, yeah, these girls, they're doing well, but they don't have standards. I know these girls personally. You don't know them, right? These
Can you
girls are very
explain?
selective, right? They're very selective. Do you understand?
No,
Sorry.
and
That's funny.
no, and the thing is that with that you're the one who told us about the girls. You're the one who told us that the girls
No, I'm
will
giving you more
date you.
information now.
No, you're
You
the one
told
who
us that
told
they were
us about the,
dating bums. You
you
told
told
us
us
they were
that they were
dating
dating
men
bums.
that do
You
the
said they
bare
were dating
minimum.
you.
No,
You said
not
that
the
they
ones
were
I'm
dating.
dating.
You said
So
that you
you're
Not the
can't
ones.
moving the
vet.
goalpost.
Wait,
No, not the ones I'm dating. I
you
was
said the
speaking
girls
on
that
the.
you were dating will be
No,
dating
no, no,
other
no, no,
guys,
no,
and you'll be
no.
looking at those guys like, who?
No,
What the heck? What are you
I was
talking about?
speaking.
Now you're
I
changing
was
what you
speaking about
what you
my
said.
friend. I was speaking about my friend. I said my friend, she's dating bums, right? She comes on here, makes this whole scenario. Oh, you know what? I don't want date. I don't want this type of guys. Whole time she's dating bums.
Okay,
I'm not
and
speaking about
can
myself,
okay,
No,
and
you're
can you
lying.
guys.
wait?
Do you
Okay,
know?
it's okay. Wait, and
Listen
can
to what
you
I'm
vet?
saying.
Wait,
You keep cutting me off.
can you vet or not? Yes or no?
You keep cutting me off. I was
Can
talking
you
about my
vet?
friend,
I'm
right?
asking you a
Can you
question now.
can you
Can
agree
you?
what I'm saying?
Now I'm asking you a quick question. Can you
Oh God,
vet? Yes or no? Can you vet? Yes or no?
I'm gonna skedaddle. I'm gonna skedaddle.
Exactly, because they
I'm gonna
can't
have to
change their. That's
skedaddle.
the problem. They can't change their
We're
mind. Like,
not.
they're so
Listen,
toxic that they can't change
I'm
their
gonna
mind.
have
Just
to
go,
You
just go,
came
just
up
go,
here.
skedaddle.
just
We
go.
did,
You came up here
guys.
and said that you cannot vet, and then
No,
you
I
gave
just
us
corrected
you
you,
gave us
and
examples of why you cannot vet.
I'm not
Right? You
doing that
gave us
again.
examples.
Just go,
Stop
bro.
talking.
Yeah, I'm
Just
gonna have to
if you want to
bounce.
listen, listen. If you don't, drop. But you came up here and said that you cannot vet. You gave us
Don't listen,
examples. You
guys.
gave us
Don't
examples
listen.
of why you cannot vet,
Legit.
and then you use your friend as an example as to why your girls can't vet. And then you started talking about how much you date and how many girls you date, and you
Yeah.
date so many girls, and the girls that date you, they date other guys, and this is how you could tell that women are not able to vet because they date you and they date other guys. So that means that either you're not a good guy or like, what are you saying? They can't vet. That's what you're
What are we
telling
talking
us.
about?
Literally, don't let him
Bruh,
gaslight you. He
You're
said
telling
the
us that you
women that he
cannot
gaslight?
vet.
dates.
You're just throwing words now. Like,
He
what are we
said the
talking about?
women that he dates
So now he
What are we
doesn't
talking
also
about?
understand.
dates
Gaslight?
men
Oh,
that do the bare minimum. That's
I know
exactly what
this.
he said.
This is
Now
a
he's
waste
He
moving
don't
of
the
speak
time,
English. Now he
goalposts.
don't
guys.
speak English. British
Yeah.
and can't speak
I
Bro,
English.
I
you
don't
have
speak
to
I
go. You
don't
have
speak
to go.
English. I
We
don't speak
can't talk to you
English.
because
All
you're just
right, y'all.
changing the
Let me let
narrative.
Lamar go.
Give him a few
Lamar
minutes,
been up
please,
I don't
guys.
first.
speak English.
Give him a few minutes to
No
explain.
English,
Maybe you
yes.
didn't hear what he said. Go ahead,
Bye,
man.
buddy.
Um, I need to get some sleep, man. Fuck it.
Fellas, I want to let you guys know that it's very important as men to be able to change your mind when you know you're wrong. When you know that, okay, dang, I'm backed up against this wall, it's okay to be like, you know what, you're right. I changed my mind. We're not going to look at you as lesser than a man if you actually stand on the ground that you were wrong. It's okay to be wrong, but the problem is when you guys don't want to change your mind and you're always going to be wrong. You'll be
So,
wrong forever.
who do you think handles self accountability better, men or women?
I think
Don't
accountability
answer
has
that. That
more.
has nothing to do with this. That has nothing to do with what we're talking
Yeah, I was
about.
gonna
Yeah, let's
say
stay on
like
topic, innit?
it's more about character than it is about gender. So let's just keep it neutral, because that's kind of inflammatory to assume that one gender in general is more adaptive when it really just comes down to your character and your morals. So I think the general synopsis I'm hearing from everybody is that vetting is something that is contingent upon people's actual standards. And if you don't have standards, it's that much harder to find a compatible match. And I would even say, even further than that, you can't really know a partner if you don't know yourself. So,
I mean, we all have high standards. It's fair, but it depends on. For a woman, look, I'll be fair with you. I don't think people tell you this, but when a woman, for example, she has this in place, she has money, she can provide for herself, her dating pool becomes significantly less. It's going to be harder for her to find a compatible match. Would you agree? And I'm being real. I think
Yes.
everyone knows. So let's say you're earning $200,000 a year as a woman. You need a man making $400,000-500,000.
You don't need
can't
a
settle
man
for
for anything if you're making $200,000. You would probably want a man to be making more than you, but you don't necessarily need a man to. As a matter of fact, you could probably date a guy who's a lot younger than you and poorer than you if you wanted to, if you're able to take care of two people on your own income.
I mean, you're not gonna really date down. Let's be honest.
Women
Let's
date,
be
especially
realistic,
black
though.
women. Black women date down all the time. I mean, look at your aunties, look at your mom, look at
I'm
everybody.
not
A lot of
talking
black
about.
women.
I'm just talking in general. Women don't usually go for the man. They're making more money than. That's just being fair.
In our community, that is not the case. So
Okay, let me ask Jay. Jay, if you're making $200,000 a year, would you go for a guy making $30,000 a year?
No.
There you go. You see, and she's not
you
she's
said
not the
what?
only woman.
If she's making how much? How much is she making?
If she's making $200,000 a year, I said, would you go for a guy making $30,000
But
a
why
year?
would
She
she
said no.
go for? That's
Who
the thing.
would?
That's
No, but
hypergamy.
the thing is, why would she go for something that she doesn't want? When you're making $200,000 a year, you go for what you want. You don't go for what you don't need a man. Do you get what I'm saying? Are you comprehending that?
But
I
at the same
understand, but
time,
that
why the
obviously.
money gotta have anything to do with it?
You say
That's
what?
not
You're
even,
not a
by
part
the
of this
way,
conversation. See,
No,
that's the problem.
let him add something. Why not? That's disrespectful. He just came in.
Me
Let
and
him
you
add
were
something.
me and you were talking, and he said, "What does money have to do with it?" So explain to him what money have to. Why did you bring up money?
It's to talk about the category of hypergamy.
Y'all, women act like that. Some of y'all acting like y'all ain't never met a man that made more money than y'all. You still want to y'all, right?
Yes,
What's the
because we are
difference
more
if you
valuable
make more
than
money
men.
than
You
you?
guys are always gonna want women because we have value. We have
How the
inherent
fuck how you
value.
figure that?
Y'all have to work for your value.
Wait,
The
wait,
only thing
wait,
you
wait.
guys have,
Y'all value
the
more
only thing you
valuable.
guys have of value is money. Women are naturally valuable. That's why.
Yes.
Okay,
No,
so
you're born
anyways,
with your
Lamar, can
value.
you
We have to
tell
create
Chris,
it.
How?
Lamar,
Cause
tell
y'all
Chris
sit
what
on
Lamar,
$40 an hour all
tell
day?
Chris
One
why you
second,
brought
Chris.
up
One
money.
second, Chris. Go ahead,
Tell Chris why
Damarachi.
you brought up money.
I was talking about hypergamy. You know, the way women always date up, men date down usually. That's what I was talking about. So yeah. That's not laughing
A
matter. This is
woman
a
will
fact.
always go for a man with some money, but what I'm saying is what's wrong with it having a woman who make more money than you? If you love and care for her, the money situation, that shouldn't even matter. But whoever
Because
says
If
something
you
about
were
y'all more
if
listening,
valuable
a
than
woman
men, let me
Gammy, let them go at it.
hold on.
go ahead.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. In the beginning, when Adam was wherever he was
Oh, here
by
you
himself,
go,
right?
y'all.
Wait,
Oh,
no. Y'all want to talk? Y'all want to talk? If y'all more
Oh,
valuable, I didn't
This is
think you
between
needed a woman
Lamar.
you
because y'all
keep
was
talking
This is
about
valuable.
Adam
between
and Eve
Lamar
now. You
and
see, I
Y'all
was
Chris.
more
talking about dollars.
gullible.
Oh
Shit,
my.
gullible. I ain't
No,
never
Lamar,
had a
you're the
woman
one
who
who
made
said that
more
he
money
should
than
talk.
me.
Yeah,
I
that
ain't
was a
never had a
mistake.
woman who made more money than me. But guess what though? I didn't treat her less differently.
She will treat you differently,
And
though.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Wait. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Y'all don't know who I am, but Jill know who I am real good.
Yeah,
She know me.
she's
Ask her
smiling.
if she ever had to work. I'm her father's son, cause I'm the father of her child.
Yeah,
Ask her when we was together if she ever have to work. She never had to work. I took care of her and my child. Ask her. So that money don't mean nothing. Money shouldn't even be an equation in a relationship. If you love that person, then you sit down and take care of my child. I got this, and
exactly.
that's what's called manning up.
That's how it should
Now, if
be.
a man got to lean
yes.
on a woman for some money, guess what? That's what they don't need. A bomb. If you able and capable, go get you some money. You
guys,
understand?
can I bring it back to what
Like right
Amar
now,
actually
I'm on the
said?
clock now.
Yeah, go
Making
ahead.
money.
Okay.
Dammy, right?
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
you
So,
Crazy
derailed
people.
us, Lamar, because you don't listen. You need to start listening to women more often.
right,
Go
I'm
ahead,
going to
Dammy.
bring
Yeah,
it
we'll
back
talk
to
about that
what you
later. Go.
said about women having more value. I'm not going to say that women as I'm not going to say that as a result of our biological makeup. Well, we do have more value, to be honest, biologically. But when I say women have more value, I'm referring to within the context of the society we live in.
Okay.
Men are statistically a greater liability than women. They commit more violent crimes. That's number one.
Not all men, by the way.
So
Let's just
we know, we
clarify.
know, we know,
Yeah.
we know. Let
Okay.
me finish. We know.
Yeah.
But when a woman is dating a man, at the back of her mind, if she is smart, she will take into account the fact that men can be liabilities. That's number one. Number two, when women marry, you will know that statistically women do the majority of the house chores, the cooking and the cleaning. I'm
Yes.
not saying it should be that way. I'm saying that's the way it is statistically.
Okay.
Okay. So on top of that, women do the majority of well, not even the majority, women do the child bearing and the majority of the child care.
And rearing
9
So
children.
if
months.
we're looking at it purely in terms of labor, women win. Women are more valuable in relationships in terms of the labor they provide within the relationships. If we're looking at it in terms of morality, if we're going to be that simple, then women win again because men do the majority of violent crime. So yes, women are more valuable
Hey,
than
what y'all
men,
meet?
at
Hey,
least when it,
No.
I'm
We're
going to
what?
finish, I'm going to finish.
okay.
Women are more valuable within the dating pool. And if you look around, you already know that.
Okay. Can
You
I
already
say
know
something
that.
now?
Where women
All right. Go ahead.
women, the games that women play in the dating pool and the games that men play in the dating pool is different. And there's a reason for that. Because
Okay.
women are an asset. Not all women, by the way. But
Is
yeah.
that why? Is
No,
that why?
all women
Okay.
are an asset for sure.
You're
And
that.
the only reason why I'm using the word all and all men commit more violent crimes as well. And you could do that when it's a critical mass. And when it comes to violent crimes, it is like 89 to 90% male. So yes, you don't have to say not all men to that. It is all men.
No, it's
And
not
when
all
it
men.
comes
Man,
Not
to
all men.
when it
Not
they
comes
all
to the
men
got
are
more
value,
created.
women on death row than
when it
men. Did
comes
y'all know
Listen,
that?
you're
when it
talking
comes to
about
the
the.
value, when it comes to the value of a woman, yes, all women inherently, female women inherently hold more value than men from birth.
Do
Period.
you agree that this is a patriarchal society where men build the world?
Yes, but not
So
because
what
men are
happened if
more
all?
intelligent
Okay,
than
okay.
women,
Now, a
You're
because
saying
small
men kept
wait, wait,
women
percentage,
out
a
of
tiny
spaces where they
percentage,
could create.
not
wait. One
even
at a time, please.
1%,
Respect.
not even the world was created by not even 1% of men. Not even 1% of men are the men who built this world. You do not fall in that category. You,
Does
Oh.
we can say that's when you can say not all men. That's when you can say not all men. Is
okay?
when we talk about who built this
Okay?
world.
What happened if all men disappeared tomorrow? Would you survive?
Yes.
Of course, but if
Yes,
You
all
of
sure?
women,
course.
but
You
if
sure?
all men left tomorrow, we will survive. If all women left
Wow,
tomorrow, you guys will die.
wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Jay, you really saying that?
Hey,
You
it
can
might be
survive
Yes,
without
crazy,
me?
but
I
it's not
believe
a
that.
lie.
If, I
So how are
believe
you
it's.
gonna? So what happens when the
If you
water
would like,
cuts
I
off,
could
the
break it
gas, the
down for you.
electricity, all the
If
things
you
that we handle,
We would just
the
have to
plumbing?
learn.
there
You
was a
don't think that
time when
women are capable of doing those jobs?
Nah, that's bullshit.
not you're talking
That's
about
bu-
jobs. There was a point in time when we didn't have to worry about these buildings.
that's
If women,
crazy, man.
if men left this world right now, the buildings will probably grow like grow grass all on it and stuff like that. We'll probably be picking our fruits and stuff. Like it's not even you're thinking about like graping the earth to get out its minerals and gold and all that type of stuff. Things that women we don't need to do. We can live from what's on top of the world. You guys
Nah,
are the ones. You
I
guys
Okay.
don't
are the
think you can
ones.
survive one day,
You
1 or
guys are the
2 days.
ones who like to grape the earth until you trying to take everything out, and that's the reason why we're dealing
But
with
you're
global
talking about
warming
all
right now.
men, like all men are bad. Like when I
No, I'm talking about the men who built the world because you brought up men building the world. Those are the ones that are doing the fracking. You're
but
not fracking, are you? Are you an oil guy? No, you're not in those
listen,
guys. You wanna put yourself in that bubble of men, but you're not even them.
listen, forget about me for a second. I ain't getting into personal, but all I'm saying is where you walk and men build that. Okay, so have some respect for men. That's all I can say. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
because
That's
men as a collective did not create the world. Stop riding on the coattails of these great men that you speak of.
Right.
What
And then
have
on
you
top,
created?
nothing. But you know who created you? A woman.
Oh,
But you know who
oh okay.
created every
uh,
man
Who
that
created
created
you?
everything? Do you know who created a
this
Who
is
created
woman?
a
crazy.
woman?
A
It's
woman.
A woman
And
feminism.
you
created
know
a woman?
and a woman created
How
a
did a
woman.
woman get here?
And you know who created all the men who built all the buildings and learned how to do everything in this world? Women. Women are the ones who gave birth to all you
Where
guys.
did the woman
Breastfed
come
you,
That's
from?
crazy.
breastfed you, raised you. It was a
Wow. Where
woman.
did the woman come
Woman.
from? They don't
But
want to
I
answer
don't say
that.
A
all women are not
woman.
valuable. What the hell? Like,
A
you see the
woman.
difference?
If you didn't know, both male and female children are inside of a woman's stomach for 9 months being built. In case you didn't know, Chris.
This is feminism, man.
I
I swear to
understand
God.
that, but so you mean to tell me that that's a fairy tale about y'all coming being made from our real from our right side?
Oh,
That's a
now you're
fairy
talking
tale,
about.
That's a
Now
fairy
are
yes.
you
tale,
talking
right?
about? Are
I
we talking
think
about
so.
religion? Because
I don't
no,
believe in the
No,
Bible
no.
either.
no,
Are you religious?
it's,
No. Are
no.
you religious? If you're no,
No,
no, no,
I
no,
would
no, Chris, don't even start with religion. You guys love to bring up religion whenever you're losing because this lady is your baby
losing.
mother, and I believe you said that you took care of them, but you are not married to her. So don't bring up religion. Don't bring up religion right
We're
now.
not together. We're not
You
together though.
exactly don't bring up religion because you're not a religious
I
man.
was,
So don't try to use the
I was
Bible
the,
now.
of course I went to Catholic school all my life.
Okay,
They're
that doesn't
happy to bring
matter.
up
You're not
religion
religious.
when
You're
it
only
comes
using it when it
to
benefits
these
you. So
arguments.
But
stop.
but
Exactly.
anyway, back to
But
what
you're
y'all
happy to
talking about. The
fornicate, are you
valuable.
not?
You see that?
Oh, okay.
And don't act
You're
like y'all
happy to
never
fornicate,
fornicated.
you're happy to lie still. So we really don't want to hear any of that Christian stuff. Cut it out. We don't care.
Hey,
I don't know who's
It's
in
a
the
fairy
comment
tale.
calling my name, but please, I beg, don't obsess with me. I'm not the one.
Hook it. Period. Yeah, we're not hearing that Christian stuff. It's a fairy tale. It's nonsense. Grow up. Okay? We don't give a damn. Thank
man,
you.
y'all.
I'm not
Where
gonna
you
lie,
from?
Chris. Chris,
What country you from?
this is feminism, bro. I'm not in a bad way, not to bash them, but this is feminism. The way they're talking, the way they're acting. You know, I
We
could
can't
tell. You know,
bash feminism. It's a beautiful thing.
That is
We're
not
actually gonna
feminism
live.
because
and it
people
comes
don't
with a
believe in
sense of
people
Feminism is
being
what's
masculinity
gonna
for
equal.
you.
That's not
look.
feminism.
Feminism is what's gonna
Hey
liberate your
man.
black ass.
Pure.
Say,
These people are
if
not
y'all talk
serious, man.
about talk, man, I ain't gonna say that because that's gonna go somewhere else. I
Okay,
ain't gonna say
let's
it.
keep it real. Feminism this,
But
feminism
anyway,
that. But was it not feminism that
our
gave
son
women
is
the right to vote
15.
in the first place?
You gotta understand, what 15 years ago. So of course, I'm more than sure y'all done got y'all some outside of wedlock. Nobody perfect. Nobody.
Oh, okay. But the
So
whole point of being a
hey,
Christian is you
hey,
follow
that's
the
what it is.
rules. That's the difference
Okay,
between a
did you
Christian and a
follow?
non-Christian,
Do
babe.
you follow? I'm asking, do you follow all rules of Christianity or Islamic teachings, whatever you may be?
Okay, but
We
if
aren't
you're
the
a
ones
Christian,
who
you're
are
supposed to
using.
try.
We aren't
If
the
you're a
ones who are
I'm just
Christian,
using.
asking.
you're
We
supposed to, is the whole point
We
that,
we
like, you don't fornicate? That's the greatest sin. I've read the Bible. I was a
you're
Christian.
right,
we aren't the
Okay,
ones who
but
that's
brought in
God
hey,
literally
religion. You
hates
did.
fornication. So how can you call yourself a Christian
It's a
and try
sin.
and use the Bible
You.
to justify what you're saying and
Yeah.
turn around and
I'm
spread
not
your
trying to use it to
legs?
justify.
You have to choose
I'm
one.
not justifying what
You
I'm
tried to
saying. I'm
bring up
just saying
Adam
if
and
y'all
Eve. Do not do that. Don't do it.
everybody come up in the church, I'm more than sure that don't mean you're a bona
No,
fide
don't bring that stuff
saved
here again. We
Christian.
don't want to hear it.
You understand me? But that's the teachings.
Keep Adam
I'm
and
just a
Eve in
messenger
your
because
book.
I've
We don't
read,
care.
and
We don't care.
I'm no more than sure y'all have read it too.
And honestly, I hate that Christianity stuff because it just encourages people to think in a hive mind and not think
That's a
critically.
No,
religion, though. You can't disrespect it. You know.
I can
yeah.
because the religion is harmful to people.
Are
So I
you
can
Christian?
disrespect
No,
it.
right?
I was a Christian.
Okay, that's you. But
What
don't
are
bash
you
their
not?
religion. You know.
I
It's not.
can if I want
No,
to.
but that's not nice, though. Is it?
They're
Would I
happy to
bash
turn around
Islam?
and be
No.
homophobic. They're happy to turn around and say that women must submit to men and women are less than men. They're happy to say these things, say that gay
I
people are
mean,
evil.
I mean,
So I will disrespect the religion.
Lamar, what
Thank
you're
let's be
gonna
you.
honest.
learn,
Thank
what
you.
you're gonna learn is that you have no control, Lamar. You can't tell her what and what not to do. You're
No,
not
I
the
don't.
Oh,
boss
It's
of
not even
okay.
about
anyone.
control. I'm just saying,
Remember
don't disrespect
what you
another
just.
religion. It's not
Okay,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
tell
don't
me
have
you
to
back,
tell her
man.
what to do. You're not in charge of her.
Am I
Okay,
telling
the
her what to do? Or
religion
am I
is
giving her a
inherently
fact?
disrespectful, so I'm gonna disrespect it.
Okay,
The
that's you.
religion says that gay people are evil. Okay, the
I don't
religion
like.
literally says that women that are not virgins should be stoned until they unalive. Okay, and the religion also says that if a woman is raped, yes, and she doesn't yell for help, that she should be stoned until she's unalived. So read the book that you are defending and shut
I don't
up.
know what you're talking
Because
about.
you
But
haven't
anyways,
even read it. I've read it
Old
from rooter
Testament
to
or New
tutor, so
Testament?
I know what that thing says.
I'm
So
not a
keep quiet,
Christian, so
thank
I
you.
can't relate.
Yeah,
But
and
anyway, listen.
on top of that, we were never talking about religion. Remember what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about hypergamy.
The only reason why religion was brought up was because I pushed you up against the wall, and he wanted to bring it back by using a book that's full of misogyny. And you guys were trying to be misogynistic, but I pushed you up against the wall, and now you have to throw hands. And
No,
you
we're
can't
not
throw
throwing
hands.
hands. We're
You
just trying to
can't throw hands.
gaslight.
Now let me ask you a question. Can a
Me?
woman ever truly vet a man?
It's simple.
Can a woman ever truly vet a man?
Drum roll.
Amen to that. But listen, what I'm saying to you is,
I'm more than sure she can.
Guys, it's
hey,
so
look, check
simple.
this out. You know, Dami, when you said women should be submissive to their men, that's traditional, you
Wait,
know.
how you didn't answer the question? What's
That's
going
a
Literally,
on?
traditional
get
thing,
back
you
to
know.
the question, bro.
Conversation. Answer it. What? You trying to switch? That's what I'm saying. You get up against the wall and then you start swinging like a madman. Answer the
I'm not
question.
swinging. Have I raised
Literally.
my voice? Come on,
Focus
exactly.
on the topic,
Focus.
bro. Focus.
I want to go back to something she
Focus.
said quickly. When she said
No, you could
women should be
definitely go
submissive.
back to
They should
something
be.
I said after you answer the question. That's what I'm saying.
Women
Like you're
should be
trying. I
submissive to
don't
their
like.
men.
Do
I don't
women know
like when
how?
we're
Oh,
in. I don't like
somebody
when we're in
drop this
conversation and then
dude.
you deflect. I don't like when you're having a conversation and when you get up against the wall, you start to deflect. So answer the question first, then you could deflect to the next
Yeah.
topic.
Because we don't really give a damn about what you're talking about right now. Answer
It's
the question.
important though.
But nobody's gonna answer it until you answer me. You see how respect works? I know you guys are misogynistic, but respect goes both ways.
So you're saying we hate women?
If you want to ask us questions, you have to
You're
answer ours.
saying we hate
And
women?
we ask first.
Guys,
You're saying we
by the
hate
way,
women?
this is what certain people do.
I don't
Like,
hate women,
they just start
but you
dancing
hate
around
men.
the question, dancing around the point.
I don't hate women. You just call me misogynistic. I'm not like that,
Bro,
you
we
know.
don't care about any of that stuff.
No, they just asked you a very basic question. Can a woman ever? You have not answered yet.
50-50
Why
depends on
don't
the
you answer
individual,
that,
innit?
Gio? Can you answer that for us?
I said no. I said you can never truly vet a person. You do not know who a person is. It just takes time and consistency, and time is so precious. So no, you can never truly vet a person. Doesn't matter if
Oh
you
God.
mama, they daddy. It doesn't matter who you meet. You don't know people until you know them, until you spent like.
He's not gonna answer the question, guys. Let's just move on.
I just said it depends on the individual. She probably can. She can probably watch his actions, the way he moves. Women are good observers emotionally, you know, so you can
It's
feel his
that
presence.
simple.
So I guess a woman can truly vet a man, for sure, yeah.
It's that simple.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless you. Can we?
That's
Are we
why I
gonna?
said it depends on the individual. It depends what type of woman it is. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So
Yep.
yeah,
Awesome. Now you can
that's it.
ask your question. See, now you see how women are actually easy.
No, I had to
Oh,
put my words into
look at that.
order, you know.
Look at
So
that.
you said, Dami, a woman shouldn't be submissive to a man. Is that correct? Yes or no?
No, you need to listen. I didn't say that a woman shouldn't submit to a man. Some women like that. It turns some people on. Some people enjoy that dynamic. So I'm
Okay,
not telling people what to do. I'm saying that women that do not want to submit, women that
that's
are
bad.
turned off by that, women that are disgusted by that shouldn't have to. And the Bible tells people that every woman is obligated to submit to her husband. And that is why I'm against. I'm not
Okay,
against people submitting to their husbands.
what's wrong
I'm
with that?
against the narrative that people cannot choose what they enjoy sexually and romantically. Does that make sense? Okay.
Okay, but look, you're saying they shouldn't submit. Why shouldn't all
Some
women submit
women
to their
do.
man?
Again,
They
You
respect.
my
have to
God,
listen, Lamar. Listen to her. Listen to her, okay? Open your ears and don't try to think about a response while she's talking. Listen to
Hey,
her while she's
relax.
talking.
Watch your mouth, please. Talk
no,
normal.
you
Don't
watch your
tell me to
mouth
watch my
and you
mouth.
turn
Dami,
Are
your
go
you
ahead.
ears
crazy?
on, bro.
You
I'm
must
not
be
the guy
taking
you could
drugs.
disrespect. I don't know who you disrespect.
Either you're on the spectrum or you're taking drugs. I don't know who you're talking to.
You
I don't
just
know
talk
who you're
too much.
talking to. Something.
This is
You're
I think he's on the
feminism.
tripping.
spectrum, guys.
You're tripping for real.
Let's move slowly for him.
Try and listen to Dammy when she talks so that way you can comprehend it. Okay, Lamar?
Feminism.
Comprehend,
Wow,
then
amazing.
respond.
I hope
Okay.
you don't talk to
I'll
your
say
father
it
like
very
that. That's a bad
slowly and
way to
very
talk.
simply.
Dami, go
Not
ahead.
every woman is turned on by submission. Not every woman enjoys submitting to her husband. Some women find that repulsive. Those women shouldn't have to do something that they don't want to do and something that they don't need. Not everybody needs to submit. Not every man needs a submissive woman. You're simplifying humanity by making it seem like everybody has the same needs. And the reason why you're doing that is because you're simple, like the Bible. And that is why I don't like the Bible, because it simplifies humanity.
So you wouldn't submit to your man, you personally.
Oversimplifies humanity.
You
And
personally
you're buying
wouldn't.
into the rhetoric because you are simple. I rest my case.
And
No.
nobody should submit to a man who can't even listen to comprehend. You are meant to be led, not to be a leader.
Okay.
No, I'm the leader, unfortunately. I don't know what relationship you're in, but I'm the dominant one.
Well,
So yeah, that's
fortunately for me, I know how to vet men. So the women that don't know how to vet men may need to be led by you. But a woman who knows how to lead will never be led by somebody that doesn't know
okay, then
how
you're
to
masculine.
lead.
You're masculine.
Yes, I am very masculine. If
That's
that's the
very
word you
bad
want,
though.
if
That's very bad.
it's bad. Okay, then you're bad
Shall I tell
because
you
you're
why
a
it's
man.
bad?
You're a man.
If she's
Oh,
masculine, that makes you what? Feminine.
No,
Because she's
it's
eating
not like
you
that.
up.
No,
So
wait.
keep quiet.
Can I explain my point? And then I'm gonna dip out.
no, you said
If you're
masculinity is bad. That's okay. Then
No. I
everybody
said
here that's
masculine.
masculine is bad.
Can I get Okay, you finish. Go ahead. Keep going.
Everybody that's here that's masculine is bad then, okay? Because if
Literally,
you're
we don't
calling me
care.
masculine, because I know how to lead better than you, so be it. I would
Because
love
you're
to be
I'll
feminine.
explain
masculine.
what I meant. I'll explain what I meant if you give me 2 minutes. If a woman is masculine, she can't thrive. she has to do the things that the man has to do, which is bad. So what happens is, look, this is actually true. If
Hey,
you're not dating,
put your bank account up on the screen. I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna do
okay,
mine.
I'll finish.
Talk about we can't
Don't
thrive.
worry. No
Talking about we
problem.
can't
You have
thrive.
money. That's amazing. Good for you.
Check my follower count too. Yeah,
Okay, that's
we can
nice.
put it all
Amazing.
up on the screen.
I hope you get more money. Amen. Listen, but what I'm saying is,
Masculine women can thrive, ladies. If you're in the comments.
Okay. And the point is, this is what I'm saying
I
about
haven't
him being
finished though,
simple.
guys. I didn't
If he
get to
had a
finish my
brain,
point.
he would know that men and women need to balance out their masculinity and femininity. Nobody is all feminine or all masculine, but he's slow. So when he sees a woman exhibiting so-called masculine traits, he's gonna start malfunctioning because he doesn't understand that people and humans are complex. Because you're slow.
Look, check. Okay, you can think whatever you want.
Catch up.
Okay,
everybody
check this out.
is. Yes.
Can I just
Different.
get 2 words in? Literally, I've let you speak. Let me speak now. When a woman
No, because you're
is
saying
masculine,
stupid things. Like we're not gonna let you ramble.
No, I'm
and
not
say
saying
nonsense.
stupid. Hear what I'm saying, and then whatever you don't like, change it. Okay. But what I'm saying is, when a woman is masculine more than her feminine, okay, she is more masculine. What happens is she has traits that a masculine man has, which is leaderness. She's a leader. She's competitive, dominant, assertive. What really happens when she tries to date is when a masculine, real masculine man finds her, he ain't gonna go for that.
No, you're mixing it up. You think that you're a real masculine man. That's
I'm
the
not
problem.
saying I'm real.
Let me
I
tell you
haven't
something.
said nothing about myself.
Okay, but hear me out. Because do you think that I don't date men? Do you think that I don't date men who are masculine? What are you talking about?
You missed my point, Donna.
No. Guys, I just need to say,
masculine men, real masculine men that are more masculine than me, love me because I'm so feminine.
They just want to fuck you.
I'm so feminine when I actually have a masculine man
in front of me. You can't turn it off and on.
I'm so
of course you can. Wake up.
You can't turn it off and on.
I'm so feminine when I have a masculine man in front of me, and you will never experience that because you're more feminine than me.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Feminine men will never experience a strong woman in her femininity. So do you know why you're experiencing this side of her?
No, but I don't go for that. I go for feminine women anyway.
Yeah,
women
because
that are
you're not
soft
masculine.
and gentle.
I'm trying to tell you that today.
You're talking about docile women, slow women. You're talking about women who are not smart enough.
I'm a traditional man.
You're talking about women that are not smart enough to actually go back and forth with you in a debate and win. That's who you need to follow you around.
Can I ask you a question, Amarachi? Are you a single mother? No offense.
Am I a single mother and orphan?
Yeah.
No, you're actually giving single mother. You're giving orphan.
I'm a man. How can I?
You're giving single mother.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Are you a single mother? I'm not trying to.
No, I'm not a single mother.
You already answered the question.
What the hell are you talking about,
bro?
So what's happened is from your 20s to your whatever age you are, you've built yourself up. You've been career driven, ambitious, all those things. Yeah, that made you masculine in a sense. Now, I'm gonna give you free source. When a masculine man actually comes to meet you, he's gonna be like, nah, I don't want.
Can you imagine, guys? Having resources and a career is masculine
the thing
now.
is, you're so worried about the masculine men I deal with, and they will spit on you. They don't like men like you. You know the type of men that like strong-minded, strong-willed women. You know them.
We don't like strong, independent women.
You know them, unless your mom is not one. Your mom must be slow and docile.
Nah,
right? Or maybe a man never liked your mom, or what?
No, like I'm the only child, so they've been together forever. So I don't know what you
Okay, your parents are together, so your mom is slow and docile.
No, my father. What?
Or your dad is the slow and docile one. I'm confused. I'm trying to figure
it out.
Slow.
Oh, but now you're disrespecting family, which is
I'm trying to figure it
because
out.
What are you crazy?
That's the family dynamic.
You called her masculine, bro. So yes, we're gonna disrespect you now.
You don't know what I'm trying to say.
Keep up.
You're not what I'm trying to. You're not
Keep
understanding what I'm
trying to say. We're gonna return your energy. You called her masculine, and you asked her if she was a single mom. So now we're coming for you.
No, it's not about that. Because
keep up.
If there's a single mother, that means the mother becomes the mother and the father. That's why they become masculine. Does that make sense? That's true, though.
But you sound slow and hard of hearing because since when was having resources that are necessary for survival a masculine trait? No wonder you people think women are so useless and need men so much.
I'm talking about
because you literally deem something that is necessary for survival.
I'm talking about 2026.
Acquiring resources and having a career as a masculine trait.
It is, unfortunately. Yeah. It is.
I think you should just keep going. I
No,
think
no,
you
no.
should
I
just.
promise
And
you,
that's
you'll
why I said
understand when you come
I
to.
love being more masculine than you. Having more money and
That's
more
not good.
social clout and
That makes you harder.
and being smarter and probably having more muscles too because I'm in the gym than you is actually a flex to me because
So how?
I'm
What?
happy that I could deflect away weak men like you. Anyways,
What man is really gonna find that
I don't
attractive?
even know how we
Ask
got
yourself.
this.
don't or
All
you're
right,
talking about
so, all right, so that's enough. Shit. I done been
yeah.
OJ,
about
what's up?
15 minutes. I don't even know what
He
your
not
problem
talking about shit.
Yeah, he's annoying, and he's also moving the goalpost. And I can't even remember what the original topic was. Can we change the? Can we get back to the
Yeah,
topic?
it all links together. It's the hypergamy and the money earning, and she's saying I'm independent, making money.
Nobody
Now
said
she needs
anything
a.
about hypergamy. You're the only one that brought that up
Do you
because
know what
you're.
hypergamy means?
Of course, I know what
Obviously,
I'm smarter than you. You
is
keep
that a big
forgetting
word
that.
for Elmo? We know what hypergamy
Like what?
is. We
Stop
know
playing.
what hypergamy is. Is that a big word for Elmo? We know
It's a
what
big
it
word.
is. Can you get to your point?
Yeah, the point is the way you're describing yourself, the fact that you said you're masculine, you're making money, you're strong, you're independent, you're career driven. Now you need a man better than you. But let's be honest, a
I
man
don't
that's
need
actually
a man. You keep like you don't know how to use words. I don't
wait.
need a man.
Let's say
Yes,
when
I
you come
have
to
several
dating,
men. Yes, I have several men banging down my line. I actually had to delete my Hinge account because they won't stop notifying me.
yeah, because they
Yes, I
just want
have
to fuck.
hella men.
They
I
don't
have
want
a
to give you a ring
platform.
though.
I have a platform where I actually show the messages of all the men that I deal with. Yes, I have a lot of men trying to get me, but that
Okay,
doesn't mean shit.
which one of
I'm
those?
not
Which one?
interested in men because I already have everything a man could ever possibly give me. If a man wants to come into my life, he's going to have to be stronger than me. And most of you guys aren't. Period.
So that you just proved my point of masculine men don't like masculine women. So thank
You
you.
guys are not masculine. If I'm more masculine than you, what makes you think
Because
you're
you,
masculine?
the guys that you have on choices, you don't want those. They just want to fuck. But then, which one of those can give you a ring
How would
and
you
get
know?
married to
And
you?
this is exactly what I'm saying. I want to say two things. There's someone in
Go
the
ahead.
comments that's saying that we're going at him too hard. When someone has insidious or deceitful messaging that is
I haven't
harmful,
got deceitful messaging.
Gotta
You
right?
just
ignore
It
don't
that
want to
doesn't
girl.
listen.
really matter
The girl
how
in the
nice,
comments
guys.
is
I'm gonna
obsessed with
finish,
me.
guys. Can I finish? When someone has a message that is harmful or deceitful, it doesn't matter how nicely they say it. If it is harmful or just nonsense, people are gonna come at them a certain way.
Okay, let's break it down from the top.
Okay.
The girl in the comments is just obsessed. She's probably a pick me or some sort, but it
It has
doesn't
to be.
matter. What she's saying literally doesn't matter because she can come up here and speak. She can literally come up here and speak. She probably can't even
I mean,
do that.
Amarachi, you said you have options, right? Which one of those guys are willing to give you a ring on? Which one of them are willing to like just have fun with you?
That's
You know
such
that?
a dumb. That's such a dumb
It's not a dumb
question.
question. It's not
That's
a dumb
such a
question.
dumb question.
Because look,
No, no, no,
yeah.
no, no, no,
Go
no.
ahead.
It's
Go
let me
ahead.
tell you why it's a dumb question.
Yeah.
When I
Okay.
was proposed to, I turned it down. That happened a long time ago. I was proposed to a long time ago. I told him no. He wanted me to move to a different state and live with him and be a stay-at-home mom. I said no. I'm not doing that shit. I have more things on my plate that I want to take care of. Yes, and that man is still in my phone till today, trying to figure out if I'm done doing what I need to do so I can finally be his wife. I don't want to. What don't you get? You
Okay.
guys are men are literally going through a loneliness epidemic. Women don't want you guys. You guys are not man enough. You guys are not man enough. Only
Okay.
thing, what do you guys have to offer? Money, and that's it. Because we can't even say that you guys can protect. Because you guys are afraid of other men too. You guys can't even protect. So
I
what do you
don't know
guys
what
have?
you're
Money?
talking
I
about.
already have money. What else can you give me? Do you have a good personality? No, you don't even have that. Are you smart? No, you're gonna give my children freaking noodle brains, and then I'm gonna have to deal with that. Like, no, you guys are not worth it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.